Man.
Greetings and welcome to the 1/6 Scale Man Probably presents, you know what it is, Monday night comic book talk with friends all day, every day. We are getting ready for a very, very, very busy week. So glad to have all you guys here and hope you're naked. See you later. I'm just playing with y'all. Anyway, thank you for being here with us tonight. Again, it's going to be an interesting discussion. If you're in, you're in. If you're not, you're not. But there's a lot to really go on, and I can't go over any of this without my esteemed colleagues, panels full of clean-cut motherfuckers that just want to talk about comics all day and play video game music from what I'm hearing. Anyway, what's going on with y'all, man? How y'all doing tonight, man?
What's good? What's good? What's going on, fellas?
What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on, fellas?
On with your sugar, man? We got Jedi Pimp in the building. We got Vinny Dog in the building, and we got Collector Without Fear, Mr. Butt Naked himself, all day, every day, man. So glad to have everybody here. We're going to talk about a few things, but before we actually dip in, let me address the panel, see what's going on with them. Vinny, what's going on with you?
What's good, man? Man, what a week. This week is started off on a bad note because we got a bunch of rain this morning, and I'm trying to get all these lawns done so I can be free as hell for New York Comic Con this weekend. So that is all eyes on Comic Con for me. So I'm excited for that. And otherwise, I've just been catching up on shows and trying to, juggle all these amazing different shows and properties and keep up with everything. There's a lot going on, and just been kicking ass at Inktober. So Inktober is up and rolling. If anybody's on my Instagram, you can check out my stuff there. So I've been doing pretty much a drawing every day there for Inktober. So I've been working on that, and just looking forward to talking about. Man, this is a busy couple of days. A lot of news release information and updates, and it's a busy week for geeks.
It's a busy ass week for geeks so far this week, man. And a lot to basically talk about, a lot that came out, and a lot that I can honestly say Jedi Pimp got right. You're learning, bro. You're learning. Last week you learned, you put up some information that was actually true. Hell yeah. I'm so happy about that, brother. But yes, I know you were excited about what'd you say? What'd you say, bro?
I ain't saying worry about no movies this week. I ain't saying worry about no movies this week. I ain't saying nothing.
Nah, not this week. But anyway, man, it's gonna be exciting. A lot to talk about, a lot to cover. What's going on with you, brother? You just went out. We'll move on to Butt Naked. What's going on with you, bro? How you doing, man? How's your week going so far?
It's been good, man. Had a good time yesterday on Collector's Lounge with you guys.
Yeah.
So that was fun, and yeah, we just had some good content. Really enjoyed Andor last week. I mean, I knew I would love that.
Yeah.
And so I had been planning on picking it up for a while and hadn't gotten around to it, and then I did, and I'm glad I did, because right after I did, it actually started trending on like the top 10. And so the prices are going up, but I managed to secure this, and Rogue One being my all-time favorite Star Wars, this was always destined to be in the collection. So it was nice to pick this up in a 9.8. So I snagged that. And yeah, just been doing a ton of comic book reading. Like I said, I finally caught up on all of my X books, and then I went back and I caught up on the whole current Eternals run, which is awesome.
Yes, it is.
And for people who may have been soured on the Eternals by the movie, read this comic book
Read
run
this book.
and it
Yeah.
will set you straight. It's been really, really good. I love it's very, very different than the movie you saw. Like most of the Eternals in this have tried to kill each other a whole lot of times. You know, and there's, you know, characters are very, very different than what you saw in the movies. And so, and the way they tie it in with the X-Men, I still think that there's kind of a thread between how this whole Axe Judgment Day thing is going down and what could happen in the MCU. I think that what they did with the Eternals and with their reason for being and the deviants and stuff, and the cost of them being what they are, I think is better in the comics than they did in the movies. But I mean, that's not unheard of. But yeah, all in all, I really, really enjoyed that run. And so now I am I just got like 2 or 3 more issues to read and I'll be fully caught up on the whole Axe event. So I'm probably gonna do that tonight. And the Axe Judgment Day event, man, it's been, I think, one of the better large crossover events.
One of the better runs.
In the last couple of years. And it speaks to the quality of the Eternals books right now, the fact that it's that team that is running the Axe Judgment Day event. When you've got the Avengers and you've got the X-Men and you've got the Eternals, but it's the Eternals creative team that's running this, you know, the overarching story for Axe Judgment Day, which I think speaks to how good they did with that, and bringing Thanos into the Eternals run and stuff. It's been amazing. So I've been tearing, like, I could not put it down. I just had to keep reading. So it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that.
Hell yeah.
Just keep going with that, man. And then I won't be able to be at New York Comic Con this week. I've got shoots this weekend, so I won't be able to do that. But you know, I do have my quarter scale Assassin's Creed Black Flag Edward Kenway that Marcos told me today is on its way to me, as well as the 1/6 scale XM Studios Green Arrow Rebirth statue. So I'm gonna have some goodies coming my way once those get through shipping. So that'll be fun.
So that arrives when?
I don't know. So he let me know that the Green Arrow 6 scale statue is in the port right now. He's just waiting for it to get out of the port, and then he's going to get it right over to me. And then he called me from the road today and got my info because he couldn't just look it up while he was on the road. So he could get the Kenway, the Assassin's Creed statue, drop shipped to me to take care of that. So I'm thinking that I'll probably have that this week. So depending on when it gets here, because I've got shoots Friday and Saturday, so it may have to sit in a box for a day or two until I get around to it. But I'm gonna have both of those to crack open. So well, not crack open, nothing is cracked actually, but I will gently open those and make sure that everything's good. So I'm looking forward to that, hopefully like by the end of this week.
Gotcha. Let's bring Mr. Jedi Pimp back in the building. He is back here with us, man. So glad to have you here, bro. Don't know what happened, but you dipped out for a second, man.
My bad. Power.
Anyway, man, how you doing, bro? How's your day going so far? And you froze again. So here's how we're gonna basically do this. We're gonna actually dip in real quick while he's trying to get his computer up and running.
I'll blame the hurricane.
Yeah, you got to blame the hurricane, because that's basically seemingly what is happening right now, is that effing hurricane. So we'll see how it actually rolls out. But again, so glad to have everybody out there. Let me address the chat real quick. We got Bloodsport in the building. AJ Agrusa's out there with you. Thank you for being here, man. 12-inch Moose Dream. DT Art, man. K Carter's in the building. Gilbert Amazon is in the building. SBBBB. We got AJ here. Yeah, so we got quite a few people that are actually stumbling in, man. We got 40 people out there in the chat. More people will actually be, dipping in. So make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because we got a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. So we'll just get it out of the way real quick, because I just want to start off the top with a couple of different things here. I mean, we just got that drop today. The drop today, basically, of the Wakanda Forever trailer. Now, here's the thing. We're not going to talk about the trailer because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't actually seen it and people who don't want to watch it until they actually seen the movie. So all we're going to talk about is the simple fact that, again, the trailer dropped. Tickets were basically available today. And just want to see who secured their spot, who's anticipating this film. Is it something that you're so excited about? And do you think, now my biggest question is, do you think this movie itself will bode well and it'll basically still be successful and can be successful even though it doesn't have Chadwick in this particular film? And that's one of the biggest questions I want to ask today, because again, we know that a lot of people are on the hashtag recast T'Challa. I know that, and I'm one of them that wants to see him recast, and I think we will see him recast. But at the same time, I think that with the narrative, there are some spaces where we could possibly see Shuri pick up the mantle, and it would be warranted, as long as it's temporary. I don't think that's a bad thing. And I think that if any, under the circumstances right now, under these particular circumstances, and Kevin Feige did basically come out and address, he said that he felt as though it wasn't the right time right now to recast. Now, what he meant and what he basically was saying was, and again, I read it as they know, and they're basically watching and they're listening to people, and they know it would be a mistake not to recast him in future projects. I just think that right now they're just giving it a space to breathe, and they want to pay homage to Chadwick in this particular film. I already see a movement out there with a lot of people saying that they're going to actually, it's like hashtag all white for T'Challa, where people basically going to be wearing all white at for the theater. So it's going to be one of those events like it was in the very beginning, like when the first film dropped. But yeah, I think it's going to actually do fine. I think it's going to do well. Brendan, what do you think about it? You think it's something that we can see be successful and have a successful run?
The movie financially is absolutely going to be successful. To me, that's a foregone conclusion. I think so many people are going to want to go and see this for themselves, whether they come away with a lot of harsh criticisms or not. I think a lot of people want to see how they handled this, how Ryan Coogler and Kevin Feige do or do not pull this off. They want to see the introduction of things, of characters like Namor. They want to see how those things are handled. A lot of people, even if they are upset with the decision, they want to see what the tribute to Chadwick is in this, during that kind of funeral section of the movie. Yeah. I will not be wearing all white just because I am too white to then wear all white clothing. Like it'll look like I'm just covered in mayo, and that's not anything anybody wants to see. So I'm like,
just saying,
I'm white, so you don't want to see that. But I haven't got my tickets yet, but I will be going day one. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. To me, again, I think we've all been in agreement that the better move would have been for them, at least, right now, nobody having actually seen the movie, that the better move would have been to just recast T'Challa. So I'm still very hopeful for this movie. I still think there's a lot of potential. These trailers have looked amazing. I do think that it'll probably end up being Shuri, from everything that we've seen and everything that we've heard that takes on the mantle. I don't know if it's going to be, it could be a thing where multiple people take the mantle up and it settles with, somebody by the end. So who knows? Me personally, I have no problem with comic book Shuri being the Black Panther. MCU Shuri, I just don't think that they've earned it with the character enough that you look at like in Infinity War, like, she's the one doing the tech stuff with Vision, and then she's kind of, knocked to the side fairly easily. She doesn't have the combat training, the skill. If you think about like when T'Challa and M'Baku, had to be depowered and fought for the mantle. Can you picture Shuri from the MCU fighting M'Baku and winning that fight just hand to hand, no like gadgets, no nothing, So I think to me, I don't think that character has earned it. I think, Nakia or Okoye, would be much better choices, or M'Baku, himself, given that they didn't recast, but we'll see how it plays out. If they do well story wise and the film feels and is executed well otherwise, I think maybe people will be willing to forgive the fact that Shuri hasn't really, as a character, earned our trust to be that hero. I know that she's stronger in the comics than she's been shown in the movie. So hopefully, maybe we just kind of have to transfer some of our feelings from the comics to that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a mixed bag, just because, again, most people, I think, would have preferred them to be recast. He wasn't recast, so now we just kind of have to go with what they did, and we know we're going to have our criticisms of it, but we have to kind of take it for what it is, and and move forward with what they've done. So but I'm still excited for the movie. Like I said, everything has looked really good, and it's going to be a successful movie. I would bet that this could be another $1 billion box office movie for Marvel. It's definitely going to outperform like Black Adam, and others. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll see.
Yeah. I think here's the thing, and the movie is charted. It's dotted at what, an hour and 2 hours and what, 40 minutes?
It's like 240. It's like the second longest movie, I think, behind Endgame.
So 2 hours and 40 minutes in a movie to flesh out a story. Basically, number one, pay homage.
Which I would have been nervous if it was like an hour and 50 minutes or something.
Yeah,
that's not enough time to deal with this.
Exactly, to flesh out a story with T'Challa, and then number one, to give us more depth with characters. We're getting characters such as Namor. We're getting other characters here. We're getting just a story. So I think it's, and this is in my opinion, is that when we're looking at the film, we don't, we're judging it off of what we've actually seen of a character from a previous film. You know what I mean? So we're judging it off of what we see of her in Infinity War, what we seen from her in Black Panther. You know what I mean? We're judging it off of that because we didn't really see. Now, mind you, it was minimal combat in Black Panther, the movie itself, but we're judging it off of that more so than any. I think that we don't know, in a sense, what type of training she may have actually received or would have gone through within a certain amount of time. But I think a lot of it is going to be explained because, again, the herb we know is an enhancement. It's an enhancement, and it only bodes well to give you, stamina, speed, strength. It gives you like heightened senses, cognizance, everything. It gives you that potential. So again,
I know they didn't plan it because he was alive for Endgame. I wish that they hadn't snapped Shuri away, so that then they would have had that to explain maybe over the 5 years, and then whatever, like that she had those like 5, 6, 7 years to gain some more skill in combat and things like that. That would have been, but obviously they didn't have the foresight to know what was going to happen with Chadwick and stuff. But I will tell you though, one of the things I'm looking forward to most about, I know obviously Namor and how they handle all of that and stuff. Although I still think the wings on the feet, I know it's comic book accurate, so just looks stupid to me. I've always hated that
Namor
about Namor.
Great to me.
But
now Jedi. Keep in mind, Vinny hasn't seen the trailer, so we're not going to talk about the spoilers. You know what I mean?
I will say
keep that off the table.
The thing that I'm actually one of the things I'm looking forward to. One of the things I'm looking forward to most is actually scenes with Angela Bassett, because everything from her in trailers, has been amazing, like powerful. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing her scenes, because I think those are going to be the most emotional scenes in this movie, the ones that, and I think she's going to have a much bigger role in this film than she did in the first one.
Oh yeah, definitely. She
I got a
will.
bad feeling about her though, man. I don't think I'm just no. I just got a bad feeling, man. Because the movie's already sad. So I mean, I don't know. I don't think she's gonna make it. I got a bad feeling.
Vinny, because I know exactly what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
Jedi. But Vinny,
Yeah, I'm not saying nothing.
what's your
I'm not
thoughts
saying
on
nothing.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on it, V?
Well, for starters, Panther definitely is going to win the Battle of the Blacks and box office battle against Adam. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, it's going to make a lot of money. It's going to be successful. I think when all the smoke settles, so to speak, and all the what are they going to do, what are they not going to do, controversy, and people are actually get to actually see it. I think a lot of people, even who were critical of all the recast T'Challa hoopla, are going to be able to, set that aside for 3 hours and appreciate the work that Coogler's team gave us. And I know I'm going to. I know that's my plan. I know that whatever feelings I have about how they went about all this, I know that, deep down, I know that it was a tough call that probably wasn't made lightly. And even if I don't agree with it, I don't want to take away from all the other things that the first movie did for me outside of Chadwick. I mean, from everything from the direction to the set pieces to the cinematography to the fucking music, that movie was more than Chadwick. And it's part of the point of why this isn't, no actor should just have that much of a threshold on any given character. It's bigger than any one person. But I'm definitely looking forward to the film itself, like, taking all that outside, because there's nothing I can do about that now. I mean, I can bitch till I'm blue in the face of what they could and should and whatever. I'm still gonna go see it and support it and make my decision based on the actual film, but nothing we can do before the film comes out but talk about it, right? So that all that said, there's still plenty of red flags and things that just are unfortunate. I mean, for comic book fans who are fans of, especially those who are fans of Black Panther, to know that we're about to get a Black Panther movie introducing Namor without T'Challa there to fight him is just heart-wrenching. And who knows what happens. It might just set up a future film where he gets to actually fight T'Challa, but it's not the same. And yes, all the Shuri stories are, we talked about it a lot. The Shuri stories are absolutely accurate. She absolutely does become, Black Panther. But like Brendan said, it's a different Shuri that becomes Black Panther in the comics. And that was after, 60 years, 50 years of another person being Black Panther. So it isn't like, here's this one movie and then, okay, here's this whole other thing. Why are you bitching? It was like that in the comics. Yeah, Captain America died in the comics too, but not on the second episode. Like a lot happened for them to like, okay, what else new can we do? There was decades of T'Challa stories before this change. So it's absolutely warranted that people had issue with it. I think that the decision for ancillary reasons to wait for this film could have been better handled by Feige if he had said what he's saying now in his kind of backpedaling statement of, like it just wasn't the time yet, down the line maybe, but it was too soon. It is a much different tune than we're not recasting T'Challa. That would be, disrespectful. We're just going to go forward doing something else. And that is what rubs so many people the wrong way. If they were just like, we're gonna do some stuff, stick with us, we're gonna be respectful, we don't want to do it right away, I think a lot of people would have been like, all right, cool, let's see what they do. Now, we all could have assumed that's eventually what they were going to do because just common sense and money talks, and it's a whole ass IP that they wouldn't just throw away and just disregard. But it's like I don't want to have to outsmart and read between the lines when it comes to PR statements. That was unfortunate the way that they handled it beforehand, even though they were, I'm sure, put in a tough spot. But yeah, I got my tickets. I'll be there day one. I can't wait to see it for myself. Haven't seen a single second of any trailer, so all these emotions and everything that everybody's been feeling for months now over this film, I'll be mainlining on November 10th. So I can't wait.
He got kicked out again. I
He
think
did. I will say though, Lael, I'm still like, while it seems like things have suggested, especially with her placement on the poster there, that Shuri could end up being the next Black Panther. I'm not 100%. I think it's very likely. I'm not 100% convinced that it's definitely going to happen or that she's going to be the one who takes the mantle forward. Not yet. Just because the fact that Marvel has, they've honey-dicked us before. They've like, Hulk in the Infinity War trailer and Wakanda, they've done things to not let you think, to let you think something and then give you, a rope-a-dope, give you a surprise later on. Yeah. So it's entirely possible that they're putting Shuri front and center on this, and that they're kind of hinting at her taking it up, and then Nakia ends up, taking it or something like that. Or that Shuri is like the one who's put, she's got pressure on her to take up the mantle, and maybe she does for a time and falters, and then she passes it to somebody that she thinks is more worthy. Could be anything like that. I think we just kind of have to wait and see. But I feel like Kevin Feige and Ryan Coogler are smart enough to have anticipated what a lot of us are saying now, which is that this version of Shuri is not yet the comic version and hasn't really earned it in, as far as credibility in the role, the same way that it was when she took it over in the comics. And so I think that there's still maybe a chance that they reflect that in whatever we finally get for the movie.
Do you think at some point they'll... Oh, well, I was going to ask
I wanted you to,
before I get out again. I don't know if I can... Can you hear me?
Good. Yeah, we hear you. What's up?
Yeah. All right. Nah, I was going to say, like, do you guys think that Coogler and Feige will try to work on some kind of way to bring T'Challa back? Because I just feel the world looks beautiful, right? This world that they set up now for part 2 looks amazing, but it's just still something missing.
It's possible. There's been talk just feel like, that
without T'Challa there, it's like a hole. It's a hole there, man.
I feel like it's inevitable. I feel like they just felt like it had been disrespectful to say so from the first place, even though they should have. I don't think it would have been disrespectful to say we're just not going to do it yet. So instead of saying we're not going to recast T'Challa, they could have just said we're not going to recast T'Challa yet, or even for this movie. But
they've got the multiverse.
They could have simply said that, but especially because you have like a layup way to bring him back.
Well, you remember
to do is just go grab. All you have to do is just grab a T'Challa from a world that's going through incursion. That's it. As simple as that.
There have been rumors about because it could be the MCU. There are rumors that that we'll see that he actually had a kid or something, that toward the beginning of this movie there's a kid born, and there's a time travel element, or advanced medical science, and who knows, this kid or a clone or something like that. There are a lot of things that they can do, because they've done all kinds of stuff to bring characters back in the comics. They could employ one of those in the MCU, and eventually, if they're going to bring the character of T'Challa, even if it's like a son who takes the same name as his father, T'Challa, they're gonna do something like that eventually. Whether or not we see the beginnings of that in this movie, I don't know. But yeah, they'll comic book the character back into existence somehow in the MCU. Just might not be right away.
I hope so, man.
I think.
Now you remember
So
when we talked about oh my bad. Go ahead. Let's break it up.
No. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, remember when we talked about a few shows back? We talked about Thunderbolt Ross, and now the big thing now is they might be recasting Harrison Ford for the part.
That's what we're
I don't
gonna
know
get into.
how it is, but it's going around. Yeah, it's going around everywhere, bro. About Thunderbolt Ross being recasted by Harrison Ford, and Hurt just died. What? 3 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
Yeah,
4 months ago.
Yeah, I think it might have been a little longer than that. But that, I mean, again, we were all in agreement that they should have recast T'Challa, but Thunderbolt Ross is a different story. He wasn't the lead of an entire film. He wasn't as culturally significant as T'Challa, and Chadwick as a talent. Like, and it wasn't. I mean, he was 71. It wasn't obviously, I would prefer if he didn't die, but it wasn't as tragic as the way Chadwick passed. So it's a lot easier to recast Thunderbolt, considering the minimal presence he's had in the MCU to begin with, versus that front and center cultural significance that Chadwick had. So
yeah, and here's my thing. When I say so, here's okay. I'm going to say something. Hey, baby, I see Scholars in the building. Thank you for being here, baby girl. So glad to have you here with us tonight. So here's my thing. And I'm going to say something that's probably pretty much, it is unpopular. And I don't really care, to be quite honest. I am one who doesn't think that M'Baku should pick up the mantle as the Black Panther. I'm one who doesn't want him to pick up the mantle as the Black Panther because it never happened in the books, and there was a reason for it.
That's fair.
I'm the one that never wants to see him pick up the mantle because it just would not make sense to me.
Me neither.
Everybody basically has been talking about this, and I'm like, no, I just can't. I can't see that because then you're taking another character's narrative and changing that story
and changing
that was never. Don't do that. Don't do that. It made sense for this movie. The only other person that you could have actually given a mantle to at this time, mind you, at this time, it doesn't mean that she's going to keep it permanently. For all we know, and then again, we don't know if it's her, if it's going to be her. But at the same time, if it is her, it makes the most sense for the narrative right now. Not to say that it's going to go forward. And I am one who believes that they will recast T'Challa. We will see. Again, they're saying that they said that this is going to be the movie that ends this particular phase in the multiverse. This is going to, and they're saying that specifically for a reason. And I do believe that we're going to get a recasting of T'Challa. We might see that Easter egg, or not even that. We might see it in the post credit, or we might even see it at the end of this film. That they're going to give us an element that cast.
I think that sentiment for M'Baku taking.
I was hoping you guys said that. I feel better now.
Because Winston Duke is such a great actor. I think people love Winston Duke. And I think that's what they were like, we'll bring this amazing actor into the center stage. I think that was more the impetus there. Because I agree. It didn't happen in the books. I think it's a very good character, and he's an amazing actor. And I think that's what was kind of motivating that. But yeah, you're right.
That's the precipice of it all.
It wouldn't have felt authentic to
it wouldn't. It would have been so weird to basically have that character play the role just because of the simple fact. That's just like people. I was one unpopular opinion. It might be, but I was like, I don't even want them to basically bring back Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan's character in. I don't. Because
I definitely didn't want that. Yeah,
I did not want that. I don't want that to actually happen. I want something different. I want this to basically happen to move the narrative, the needle forward. Because again, I believe that we are going to basically get a recasting of T'Challa. It just has to happen at a moment, and they want to give, Chadwick the proper send off, which that's what they're doing. They're setting it up that way, and they're going to probably do that in the beginning of the film. And then we get into the meat of everything, and that's how it's going to actually kick off. You know what I mean? So I'm just giving it that aspect of it. I don't want to see M'Baku pick it up because M'Baku is important to his nation for a particular reason. He's an important character
the Ape
for a
Nation.
particular reason.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
want to see that
Mhm.
just the way it is without anything else. You feel me? If it
Mhm.
makes any sense. So
Mhm.
that I will say. Anybody else
Mhm.
want to chime in? Because I know somebody was just waiting to see.
No, I 100% agree with that.
Nobody else want to say anything, but I do, and I think that's. But I think that at the end, and the thing is, I'm trying to. We're saying this, mind you, we're keeping this as spoiler free as possible, because Vinny lives up the street, and I ain't trying to have no assassin chicks come down to my crib and do what whatever needs to be done. So, but yeah, I think that basically the multiverse sets up so much. It sets up the opportunity for us to get another character from a different universe that can bleed into this particular universe for a particular reason. Maybe the incursion is causing that universe to die, and we have to bring in certain, because we know that at one point the multiverse was destroyed and they brought characters in from the multiverse into the main 616. So we know that happened. You know what I mean? So maybe that is where they're going to actually go, and we could possibly see a recasting of the character. That's where I think it'll go, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So I am excited about that. Everybody out in the chat, let me know how you feel about it. If you're going, I'm going day one. There's a whole 4, 5, 6 roles. There's the that's going to be taken up. There's the third role. There's a second role. There's Vinny, and then there's the room behind him. So definitely it's going to be filled up with a whole bunch of people, and we're going to have a good time.
Them roles roped off.
What's that?
Their roles roped off.
The roles roped off. There you go. There it is all day. So everybody, let me know what y'all think. If you're going to go check out this film, I know we will. Jedi Pimp, I'm going to kill your damn computer, but it is all day. It is what it is. Next up, I want to talk about real quick, because we did touch on this, and I just want to know what people think about this, because again, it was something that was mentioned. It was brought up, and I want to know people's feeling on it, because again, Jedi Pimp did allude, and it was like a nice little segue into it. We got word again that they are considering Harrison Ford, and this has been going around, hasn't been confirmed. I want people to understand it. It has not been confirmed, but it's been going around that there's a possibility that Harrison Ford can pick up the mantle of Thunderbolt Ross, that he can possibly play the Red Hawk. Mood-wise, I think it's there. He is a grumpy dude.
Attitude-wise, definitely.
Attitude-wise, he could pull it off. He's grumpy. We know that. I know Hot Toys doesn't want him near their property at all, but we know basically he is a grumpy dude, and if anybody can do it, it would be him. But
I don't really love it though.
do we want that? Does anybody even want that? Vinny, I'll let you go ahead since you spoke first.
Yeah, my fault. It's something that, like all things that if I'm ever, critical of something, trust me, I usually want to be wrong, but it just doesn't seem like a good fit. I think that if they recast him as Thunderbolt Ross, if they cast him as Thunderbolt Ross, we'll be just looking at Harrison Ford. It's just, you know what I mean? I would have rather they go with Sam Elliott, from the previous Hulk's version of him. You're not thinking of that iconic of an actor. Like, he's just too Harrison Ford for this role. I just can't imagine Harrison Ford hulking up and becoming Red Hulk. It's hard to wrap my head around it, and it just doesn't feel right. And again, I could be wrong, and then the other side of that, which makes me feel like I better learn to like it, because that's probably what we might be getting, is this film doesn't exactly have, knock your socks off star power. There's no major stars in this film at all. So I could see from there, business wise standpoint, why the Mouse might want Feige to, get a little bit bigger name on a marquee, like for economic reasons. I'm not sure who would be your top billing in this film otherwise. So I think it might be one of those things where it's a business decision more than a creative decision. And that's not to take anything away from Harrison Ford. It's fucking Harrison Ford. I love him. It's an odd role. He seems a little bit more frail these days. I'd like to see an older actor who still looks more I don't know, bigger, better shape. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it's going to be a tough sell, and I'm sure I might be wrong, and they might pull it off. But when I think of older actors who could be Thunderbolt, I don't see it at Harrison Ford. We'll see.
Leo, you're muted.
I said, I'm sorry about that, Brendan. What's your thoughts on him being Thunderbolt?
I'm totally. I'll never say no to Harrison Ford in any role because I think he's that level of an actor that if there's a role and he wants to do it and do it right, he can and he will. Would he be my first thought of like, oh yeah, this guy should play Thunderbolt Ross? No, but I would be okay with him being it. Also because I like the character, but I'm not like hardcore like devoted to the character of Thunderbolt Ross from the comics. Like it's just like I know exactly what he is, who he's supposed to be, like but it's one of those characters that if feels a little bit different or it's changed, like it's not something that I'm going to lose sleep over. It doesn't carry the same weight as a Tony or a Cap or anything like that for me. I don't know many people that that character really does carry that same weight for. But I think that he can absolutely do it. There are other people that I think could do it as well. I mean, somebody, in the chat mentioned like Liam Neeson. I could see him, putting on a stash and doing it. But it's like, to me, it's like, I mean, I absolutely
don't see Harrison wanting a long franchise contract. So it's kind of like, is he going to be just doing?
Well, yeah, but I mean, they could kill him. They could kill him in the one movie, or maybe it's like a handful of like cameos leading up to the Thunderbolts, and then boom, like Red Hulk and stuff. And the thing is, he's not going to be doing a mocap shit and having something on his head for height so people look at it. He's not going to do that. It would be 100% CG'd, and he would just be there for the human scenes and stuff. So if he can do it, I absolutely think that I'd be fine with it, because again, I'm not. It's not like, oh my god, this is such a critical character to me that if it feels a little off with Harrison Ford playing it, that it's really going to ruin my movie going. It's not. And I also don't. But if they do it, I don't think it's because they need the star power for the box office. Because the thing is, William Hurt wasn't going to bring the asses to the seats and for the Thunderbolts movie. I don't think that was anything there.
Had they even discussed this before he died?
What?
Discuss what?
Thunderbolt? Was Thunderbolts even in
the
running?
Yeah, Thunderbolts.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm just literally asking.
Thunderbolts had been planned for a while, so he was going to be in it.
All right, cool.
But like, and I mean, again, the other thing is you look at some pretty big successes that they've had. Simu Liu had like a decent following, but he wasn't like a mega box office draw, superstar or anything. And the movie was not built around Aquafina, all right, and that movie was still massively successful. So I think when you look at the people that they have in this, somebody like Florence Pugh, who's
on fire right
now. You've got David Harbour, with the Stranger Things, momentum and a lot of other stuff that he's got going. Sebastian Stan, like you've got it. Yeah, you don't have maybe that one like Robert Downey Jr. or something, but you've got enough of a strong team. That
it's definitely some names. I feel like this. I'm sure the studios would love to have his name attached to this to put him over the top. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I mean, and again, the other thing you got to remember too is I think they'll pull out all the stops if they feel like this casting will help the film. Got to remember, Thunderbolts is the finale to Phase 5. Yeah. It is what Black Panther is about to do for Phase 4. That's the capper
For phase 4, yeah.
phase 5.
Mhm.
It's still pretty
So
fucking
it
wild.
has
Mhm.
so they have to have something significant planned for that movie. I feel like there's got to be something that's going
That
to make
cast,
it worthy of that position. And if
yeah.
they feel like Harrison Ford and an actor of his caliber brings them to that, then I'm fine with it. I haven't seen.
Mhm.
I purposely haven't watched the leaked version of the Indy 5 trailer because I want to see it in full 4K the way it's meant to be seen when they officially release it. But from what I've heard, that trailer and specifically Harrison Ford, and obviously he's going to have a stunt double and stuff, but just like that movie, the action and how Harrison Ford looks in the role again, people have said it looks phenomenal. So I'm okay with
Oh
him,
God, I can't wait for that.
I'm okay with him
Yeah.
being Thunderbolt Ross if that's the case. But if he's not,
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm not going to care either. Like, I'm not going to be, damn it, I wanted
Mhm.
Harrison Ford in this role. It's not,
Mhm.
the casting of Thunderbolt Ross is really not going to blow my skirt up one way or the other.
Well,
The
here's the
cast
thing:
is pretty dope. Even without him, though, bro.
They are. I think it's a solid cast. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
think, again, I think there are, in my opinion, I mean, look, Sebastian Stan is basically riding a wave of success that he has in the MCU, so people will go
Mhm.
see it because he's in it. David Harbour, another
Mhm.
character. We're talking about Val Contessa. Veep. Don't forget it. She has a following. You know what I mean? Of individuals.
Julia
who
Yeah,
have
she
Louis-Dreyfus.
does.
Yeah,
millions.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
she's an
does.
Emmy Award,
She does.
whatever. You know what I mean? So we have her. We have Florence Pugh, who's and she is killing it right now. You know what I mean? So we have
Yeah.
people that are there. So I think that this movie would have done well even without Harrison Ford or a Thunderbolt Ross. But I think they're
Mhm.
doing it because originally, you got to keep in mind, this was before it became a film. It was supposed to be a Disney Plus show. They
Disney Plus.
adapted it
Yep.
to an actual film, and it was going to
Yep.
actually have a Thunderbolt Ross type of character in it. But again, because
Mhm.
rest in peace, he passed away, they needed
William
to
Hurt.
refill those
Mhm.
shoes, and I think that that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
again, I think there is potential for it to be good. It's
I
just
just,
that
I
you
hope
know,
that they
yeah.
don't bring in Abomination to this, to be perfectly honest. And if they're thinking about, all right, well, we were going to have a Red Hulk. We're not going to have a Red Hulk now. If they decide to abandon that, I don't want them to replace him with Abomination, because after this most recent
I hope not.
episode of She-Hulk, there's just, they've
Yeah.
ruined what's his name in that role for me as Emil
Yeah.
Blonsky, because he's
It won't
just
work. It won't work.
nothing, like not even
No.
remotely what he was in
No.
the Hulk movie.
Not at all. It's too
That
nice.
whole leading the
He's too nice.
circle thing, it just
Mhm.
ruined the
Mhm.
character for me. Like this
Yeah.
iteration of it. Like I can't see him. If they want to continue to use him in She-Hulk, I'm not really invested in She-Hulk anymore. So
Yeah.
like whatever. But I can't see him going back from what he is in this to
Yeah.
something that is worth him being formidable in the Thunderbolts movie.
Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
he's faking it? Because people have been saying that too all over the internet. Like they think like he might be
No,
acting it
I
out,
think
might be
it's
faking.
just I think it's just the writing on She-Hulk.
Yeah, I don't think the
dude.
writing on She-Hulk is subversive. It's just pretty.
Yeah,
face
they're not.
value.
They're
They
not
really
trying to
killed the
like. They're not
Abomination,
giving
bro.
us a rope a dope. They're not trying to like, pull one over on us and be like, oh, we made you look, and now like he's really badass. No, I think it's just this is.
It's not that type of show.
No, the
Yeah,
writing is not
true,
smart
true,
enough.
true.
It's not.
It's not.
I
No,
think they
at
no. I
all,
think
bro.
they just. I think they just took the character and were like, we're gonna use him the way we want to use him.
That last
And
show had me sleepy.
to be honest, I thought it was better than the wedding episode. There were a
Yeah.
couple of chuckles in
Oh, it
there.
definitely
Yeah.
was better than.
It was better.
Yeah,
It was better
there
than
were
the
a
wedding
couple
episode.
chuckles in
It
there,
was.
but it was also
Yeah.
well. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
get to that when we get to that. But yeah, like I just
Yeah.
as far as the
Yeah.
Thunderbolts go, because I know Abomination was heavily rumored and talked
part of the
about as far
team.
as being a part of that movie. And to me, it's
Mhm.
just like I can't take the character seriously. I just can't.
Yeah.
Me neither,
Again,
bro. Me neither,
I think,
man.
to address that, all in the game, he says, y'all are also overlooking just how much the VFX could suffer if there's a bunch of Hawks and Abomination in that movie. Sometimes less is more. That's what I don't think that there's going to be. Here's the thing. They just said he's going to take on or could take on Thunderbolt Ross. They didn't say shit.
They didn't say Red Hulk. Actually, yeah.
You feel me?
But
also, they didn't say Red Hulk, right?
But he might not be the Red Hulk.
But also, don't confuse the CG on Disney Plus with the CG on films.
Yeah.
Because
no, it'd be totally different.
It's a completely different animal because it's not about like. And again, we had mentioned this actually. Well, it was when you had to step away for a minute, Lael, yesterday. But we had mentioned this on yesterday's stream, yesterday afternoon, Collectors Lounge. And a lot of trades and stuff have kind of talked about this because there's the whole crunch of VFX, houses in Hollywood right now. It's not about like it's not about like, oh well, now if like Armor Wars, for example, where it's going from a show to a movie, and they're going to be like, oh, now it's so now it's going to be the same budget, and the CG could still suck if it's the same when it goes from the screen, the small screen to the big screen. It's not. It's about dollars per minute. It's not about like, oh, they have the same budget, so the same budget goes further for VFX on a film than it would on a show because it's a condensed amount of minutes that they're actually putting those VFX into. So it goes further. So the budgets and the VFX and film side are always going to be better than the TV shows. So just because
they take up more priority.
Yeah. And so because She-Hulk looks like crap, in certain scenes in this show, that will have no bearing on how Hulk's red or otherwise will look on, the big screen when it comes to films. It doesn't translate that way.
Right.
Yeah. And I think, in my opinion, like I said, I think it's, again, all speculation right now until we've gotten information and it confirms. We see trades talking about it, but none of the major trades are really basically skimming over the story to say, yes, it's confirmed, because it hasn't been confirmed right now.
Yeah.
There was a major trade that basically talked today. There was a mention that, and this popped up, and then this basically blew up. For instance, give you an example. Christian Bale. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah. That's what's so interesting about
Batman again with Chris.
No, not Batman.
Star Wars.
No, he wants to be in Star Wars. Yeah. That's what's so interesting.
Oh, he said Star Wars
is now.
Yeah.
All Christian Bale has to do is go, and when asked or talk about something he wants to do, I'd love to be in a Star Wars movie. And all you see for the rest of that day is Christian Bale coming to Star Wars.
He wants to be in Star Wars. Wow. Exactly. Yeah, true.
It's like
true.
It's like just read, press, click on the link. Read it for yourself, and you see 90% of the time.
Like, Christian Bale to play Darth Revan.
No, he said, I'd
I'd
love to do a Star Wars movie. That's all.
And then somebody writes something, and it's like, oh yeah, he would be great for Darth Revan. Christian Bale wants to play Darth Revan. No, that's
confirmed. Christian Bale is
confirmed.
Darth Revan for a trilogy.
The only thing that was confirmed is that Christian Bale would like to be in a Star Wars movie, along with literally every other fucking actor in Hollywood. So, like,
the only thing is that he's more content, but he's more passionate about it because he grew up with it, and it's something that he said he would like to do. And he mentioned certain things that lets you know that he has a passion for it. But that's just something that he said. But people are running with that, and that's the same thing with this. They're mentioning that Harrison Ford could potentially play, Thunderbolt Ross. We don't know yet.
Yeah. It's the same thing that just happened with Keanu Reeves too, because Keanu Reeves just did an interview where he talked about he finally came to terms with the fact that he was never going to get to play Wolverine because he really wanted to be Wolverine in a Marvel movie, and he was like, but I'm too old now. Like that time has passed. Hugh Jackman had the right timing. And it just wasn't for me, but I really, for a while, I was depressed because I really wanted to play that role. He's like, now I'm at peace with the fact that I'm never going to be Wolverine. And then all these people, started writing, stuff I'd see everywhere all online about like, oh, we think it's possible that Kevin Feige could bring him in as like an alternate universe, like version of Wolverine in like Secret Wars or something like that, so he could get to play the role, just like he did with John Krasinski and Reed Richards. It's like, no, nobody, like literally nobody. He said, "I'm at peace with never playing this character," and people were like, "Oh, we think they're going to bring him in." It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's like now.
Well, he was on when he was on.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
When he was on Steve Colbert, he met to play Constantine again, and then 4 months later, he got the role back. So I mean,
well,
stuff like that can happen too. The right exec might be watching the show.
They actually they haven't actually greenlit a new Constantine movie. They are moving forward with like development of it. So that means they're gonna see if they can come up with a script, and then the studio has to sign off on it. They have to agree on a budget and then greenlight it. So what is happening right now is that Keanu Reeves and the guys who did the first one are developing a potential sequel, but it is not actually signed. And like everybody's been saying, it's confirmed. Keanu Reeves is going to be Constantine again. It's no, there's a good chance, but nothing has actually been green. But everybody just takes a little thing and then just
any actor can basically.
He was amazing as
role, but if there's no development on that role, it sits on the shelf. That's just how it is. So you have to basically wait. Anything can be on development. Anything can be, they can actually voice their opinions about what role they want to take. They might even actually get with a writer, director, or producer and say, this is what I want to do. But until the studio says, okay, we want to flesh out the story. We want to see a story. We want to see something on the table. You can get like a script that comes across the table. They'd be like, it doesn't work. Shelf it. So that's what I'm saying. Like you can't, Hollywood is
Sony was developing Uncharted for a decade before they ended up actually making the movie,
a long time,
right? Like there's so many movies, so many franchises that were in development for literally 7, 8, 9, 10 years before. Think about the Black Adam that's about to come out. It was like 7, 8 years that The Rock was like trying to get that made, that it was in development where they were working on putting all the pieces together. It didn't get greenlit until a couple years ago. It was like 5 or 6 years of work before it actually got greenlit. Same thing here. Yeah. It's, whether it has nothing to do with the quality of the movie, whether you like Black Adam when it comes out, whether you like Uncharted, whether you like Constantine back in the day, or if a sequel gets made with it. It has nothing to do with, the quality of it. It's just some stuff. It takes a really long time. It's in production. It's in development first. And we don't know. We'll see. But
right.
People just kind of, run off, with stuff and say it's confirmed or this is definitely happening when it's like, no, nothing is confirmed.
Not really confirmed yet. So
your ass is in the seat at the theater.
You don't think you guys don't think we'll see a Rick at all with Thunderbolts?
See what?
See what?
I said you guys don't think we'll see the Red Hawk at all?
No, I think we could. They just haven't said that.
Yeah.
They've never and they've only ever said the rumor. All right, it's not confirmed, but the rumor is that they were talking to Harrison Ford for the role of Thunderbolt Ross. We've seen Thunderbolt Ross 3 times in the MCU so far, 3 or 4 times. And but there's been no Red Hulk.
Yeah.
So just because they're talking to him about Thunderbolt Ross, if they are, doesn't mean that he actually turns into Red Hulk. Maybe they have him cast in the movie and he never turns into Red Hulk. Maybe they kill him off before he becomes Red Hulk, and that just it's the end of the character.
That would be a waste. That would be a waste. Yeah.
Well, I think one day we will, but I don't think it would be until after they settle all their shit with Universal and get a chance to do more shit with Hulk.
You also can't bring in a legit Red Hulk until you fix regular Hulk.
Yeah, because if you bring in Red Hulk and he's anywhere near as cool as he is in the comics, it's just going to make people hate what they did with Hulk even more.
Yeah, you have to fix and
Green
it
Hulk
looks like they might be on the path to doing that, but the bottom line is you have to fix Hulk before you bring in a legit version of Red Hulk.
Before you even get to that point right now. Because I don't think look.
And will Hulk's they do that before the end of the next phase?
You know what I mean? They have Hulk off world for a reason, for a particular reason. That's why they have him off world. And it could be to kind of revamp, reconstitute, give us something, give us the Hulk that we want to see, give us like something a bit more savage. It could be. We just have to wait and see. But you don't replace that version of the Hulk with the Red Hulk. Give us something that everybody would want and wanted to see out of Bruce Banner, and we never got a chance to see yet. This is why I don't think that even if they bring Thunderbolt Ross in, there's so many different stories to tell with the Thunderbolts that have nothing to do with the Red Hulk that are really good stories. You feel me? So there's
true.
So many different things that they can actually do. I just think that it'd be something that at least they know they have it in place when the time comes. When that time comes. But again, I agree. I concur. Y'all need to fucking Marvel. Y'all need to fix the Hulk first before you do anything about the Red Hulk. So it is what it is. But yeah, let me know, everybody out in the chat, what you think. I'm going to move on from this, and we're going to actually go on to the next announcement. I'm saving one of the best announcements for last, but I want to move on to this one and get your thoughts on whether or not you guys think that this was a good idea. I mean, me personally, I think it is, especially with someone of Don Cheadle's character and caliber actor, that he needs something more cinematic, and I think it's his time, and I think he should actually have something. I think it's myself personally, I think it's a good idea. Jedi Kid, what you think, bro?
Armor Wars, the movie, is going to be awesome. I didn't want to see it chopped up in the TV series, so for Roger to have his own movie, this is going to be, I think, equivalent to Iron Man 1 and more. To see Rhodey on his own with his armors, like, I can't wait to see that, man. To see that open up, to see that on a full screen in the theater, not to wait for it every Friday or every Thursday for it to come on Disney Plus. I'd rather watch it in the movies too. So when I heard this announcement, man, I was ecstatic. I couldn't wait to see what they're going to do with it now. Now I know they're going to take time with the visual effects and then work on the armors and stuff. I can't wait for this movie, man.
Now
I think it's going to be great.
So I'm gonna ask everybody's opinion first, but then I'm gonna actually ask you another. I'm gonna go around the table and ask you another question. So, Vinny, what you think about it, bro?
It's weird because this is obviously the first time that they've ever, kind of backpedaled and took a TV show and made it a film. We've seen Inhumans, where they took a movie they wanted to do and decided to let it go to TV instead. But this is the first time it's went the other way around. I hope it's because they, I don't know, did the opposite of Batgirl and said, no, this is too good for TV and let's make a film out of it. I don't know. But this is something that I feel like it could have made sense to have been a film in the first place, because there is that gap of Iron Man films in people's hearts that they probably would want to see. It's obviously not just for many people, it wasn't just about Robert Downey Jr. For a lot of people like seeing the tech. They like seeing the excitement of an armored superhero, and it relates to a lot of people. Can relate to it because virtually anybody could pilot it. Anybody could be a superhero and wear Iron Man's armor and be a hero. So it's something that is relatable. And Don Cheadle is amazing. He was one of the best parts of Iron Man 3 when he was jumping around and kicking ass. The whole time I was thinking Terrence Howard wouldn't have been able to do this scene. So Cheetah was great. Cheetah has been kind of like one of the silent sleepers of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't think he ever really has gotten the shine that he's deserved over the years. So I'm happy for him because he's an A-lister who's just kind of like happy with whatever he gives him. It doesn't seem like somebody who really feels like, oh no, this is, I want to be the star. Like it feels like he just, goes with the flow. And so
he
I
rides
feel like
the wave, bro.
Yeah, man. He's like, he don't
I think he appreciates it, man.
I feel like this is here's my paycheck, gig, and I got my AD stud for, what I feel like doing artistically. So I feel like he's cool with whatever they do with him, and he's not somebody who's going to be like, nah, I need to be front the biggest name on the post. Like I don't feel like he's that type of actor at all. He always seems so chill. So I love this. I love that. For those who are fans of Iron Man, we know how much Rhodey has meant to that comic for many, many years, and we've got to see just like really just little slivers of it over the course of these films. And there's so much more that Rhodey has done in the comics that, I mean, and we're even leading up to Secret Wars. Now we don't know what Secret Wars we're getting, but the original Secret Wars, the Iron Man in that was Rhodey. So I like that they're using a film to kind of like springboard into all that. I love the news that they were making it a film. I don't feel like there's enough familiarity with their studio films of late for the general public to grasp onto. It's a lot of here's something new, here's something new, here's something new. And I feel like this would kind of like be nostalgic in an ironic way for a lot of people to see an Iron Man on screen again and on film. So I think that would be like a really smart move for them to switch this up, because I feel like there's a lot of characters that work really well for a TV show, so that way you can do this in-depth character study of them. But when it comes to War Machine, you just want to see an action movie, and
hell yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I want to see Rhodey fucking people up in flight. I don't want to see. I don't want to see him like. Yo, I don't want to see
trying
Rhodey
to figure stuff out
like,
too much.
I don't want to see him at the bank like Sam Wilson trying to get a loan and shit. I don't want to see that shit. I want to see him fighting.
No,
that's a smart move.
Yeah, definitely a smart move. I agree. I want to see him fucking some shit up. You know what I mean? And I want to see him utilizing the armor because we know that he was more militant. He was the militant, and he was honestly, not just Iron Man 3, but one of the best scenes that I think in Infinity War is when he was flying around and dropping them loads, and it was in that armor. That Infinity War armor was one of my favorite, and I regret that I didn't fucking get that armor. I so regret it because it was so dope. So I'm definitely excited about it. Bucky Naked, man, what you think, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Vinny said. I think that this is something that is worth bringing on to the big screen, and I agree that a lot of what we've been getting from Marvel lately has been bringing newer characters to Disney Plus, but this is a chance to for that familiarity aspect of it, to bring this to the to the forefront, bring it to the big screen, really put some marketing behind it, and because Disney Plus has been a place where like lately we've been getting like Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk and Kate Bishop. We've been getting introduced to a lot of newer characters, but now we can have somebody like Don Cheadle, who is an A-list actor, and no, see that's 100% wrong, because we've seen Rhodey in
right.
these.
He's being sarcastic there, but
movies.
we've seen we've seen a lot of character development on these shows.
We've seen his character grow.
I've already seen his character
development.
I've seen that basically what he's gone through as a character. I mean, damn near and on top of that, just keep this in mind. If you want to see character development, and he's already developed. But if you want to see him at his acting prowess, we'll see that in his film. But also keep in mind that he's also in Secret Invasions as well.
So also, and you also, but you also have to remember too that we're going to see character moments out of Rhodey and out of Don Cheadle in this film, because remember, he was one of the most important people and closest people to Tony. Okay, and we've yet to see Tony, his response from we've yet to see his response to how to losing Tony, to losing his best friend,
to the loss.
And all in the game, what do you actually know about Rhodey apart from being Tony's? Dude, if you just want to troll, get the fuck out of here. Like,
no, I don't think he's trolling. I don't think he's trolling.
He's kind of trolling.
No, he's been trolling the whole night. He's just a
I
fucking
got it
moron,
caught
is
it,
what
but
it
that's
is.
kind of what he's doing.
So no,
Yeah, it definitely is.
we've had plenty of good character. He's a character that if anybody knows how important he is to Tony, how important like Vinny had mentioned, he is in the comics, in the Armor Wars, he is Iron Man in that, right?
He
And
is Iron Man.
you've got a character, you've got an actor, the quality and the level of Don Cheadle, who has voluntarily taken a back seat just to be a part of the MCU and be this character, when others have been in the forefront, and he's an amazing actor, he's probably one of, if not the most talented actor that they've had in the MCU. So, I think this absolutely makes sense. Take advantage of his star power, bring this to the big screen. I also think that in addition to him, I think he's going to play a mentor role with Riri Williams, and I think she's going to show up in this. And I think that also provides a good opportunity for character development and to give him a new role to play that mentor to her, because I think you don't bring in somebody like Ironheart and then not have her involved in Armor Wars.
That'll be good to see.
I think we're gonna see a lot about that. There's also gonna be some good. He's gonna have to deal with the legacy of his dead friend and it falling into the wrong hands, and him trying to preserve something of Tony while moving forward, and being that forefront superhero now, and also teaching Riri how to because she's got the technical knowledge, the genius for that side of things that like Tony had, but she's a kid and she doesn't know about superhero life, and that's something that, and the responsibility of that and the weight of that Rhodey can impart on her. So I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff there. And I think makes sense to go to the big screen. I think this is probably a combination of two things. One, they realize that they've got a really great story and it's best to be on the big screen instead of on Disney Plus. And so they made that pivot. And two, you got to remember, this has been planned for a while, but with COVID and everything and the way all the phases got shuffled, the structure of phase 5 and phase 6, I think, looks differently than it did when they were originally conceiving of this show. And I think that combined with the quality of the story that they've got made it fit better on the big screen at a different time than the Disney Plus series when it was originally intended. So I think that's where this is the right move. And I'm happy about it. And also momentum. Armor Wars is something that I feel needs to be more precision. It needs to be tighter, and it needs to have momentum, and it needs to be this fast pace. We need to get, some of these battles, they're going to be, you don't want to be waiting and kind of like, okay, we've got to space out the action and space out these moments over 6 or 10 episodes. I think this has got to be more that kind of missile precision, like boom, we hit the ground running and we go. And I think that's better suited to like a 2-hour movie than trying to space that out over 6, 7, 8 hours of a TV show. For some things, I want that, that TV show length. For this, I think this works better. Right. And if you're familiar with the story from the comics, I think this works better as a feature film than it does as a more drawn out.
Here's what I want to say, and I want to say this real quick.
This one had to be a film, I think, man.
I want to say this real quick because I've heard this far too many times. Far too many times. Okay. People who basically sit there and say this, and let me put this down a second. People who say this, right? The MCU, and I want to put this out there for everybody to realize, the MCU ain't shit without comics. Absolutely. Because if there wasn't a comic franchise, there wouldn't be the MCU.
There would be no MCU.
Now, to say that comics do not they don't influence the MCU, I'm sorry, you're sleeping under a rock.
That's crazy.
That's just
crazy. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're sleeping
Look
under
at Miss
a rock.
Marvel.
The comics influence the MCU because if it didn't, there's no substance in character. So they need a right away.
Exactly.
They need to know exactly where they are going. So to say that the comics, again, let me say this slowly. To say that the motherfucking comics do not influence the MCU, you are so naive to say some shit like that, because it does influence the MCU. If we didn't have the comics, you wouldn't have fucking Robert Downey Jr. You wouldn't, because he was the perfect iteration of Tony Stark from the books. Any actor who picks up these roles will tell you.
Comics.
They have gone back and read source material to find out about the character.
Also, look at the title of this fucking
on top of that,
show.
He's basically put that
Armor
there.
Wars, bro.
He's put that there.
No,
Armor
look at the
Wars
title
is
of this
derivative.
stream. If you're like, you're in the wrong place if you think you're going to make the
talk
argument
with
that the comics don't matter. And like, that's not, you know, not to mention they want, believe me, if you look, and we've talked about this on many streams, the synergy between things that they're doing in the comics and then how those line up with stuff in the MCU at that time and vice versa. They want people to be driven by these movies to read the comics too, because then that continues the circle, because then those people read the comics, they get into that, they're making more on the publishing side, and then they've got more to bring them into the films again.
In Moon Knight, they gave you
right out the book,
codes,
right out the comics
to find the book, because they wanted you to read the source material to understand. So please, people, stop saying that the comics do not influence the MCU. That the comics aren't the MCU.
That's insane to even say that, bro.
To reluctantly play devil's advocate, I think his point is kind of like, just because we know about his backstory in the comics doesn't mean that everybody else does and they want to see it in the MCU. But the what Marvel has done over this past decade plus is kind of count on at least some a little bit of knowledge of fans going in, so that way here's what we want to give you, and if you want to learn more on your own, read some comics, and you could go into this with a little bit more in depth, because that's what all these comics are sitting here for. You are not.
But they give you the scan code in every episode. Almost.
You're not going to be able to take what we have read all these decades and put it into a 30-minute show or a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
You're going to have only got so much time to tell these stories. And not every character makes sense to have an 8-weekly character study. Some characters are more.
If you're gonna troll,
some characters are meant to be seen in more action orientated.
Troll the right way.
Type of
troll the right way. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna troll the right way.
Vinny, when you said they rely like somewhat,
you trolling the wrong 4 people, bro.
I think they rely on the comic book knowledge of people like us and other streamers, even more than we give that credit for. Because
there has been a lot of wink, nudge stuff over the years. I think one of the reasons why MCU has been so successful is because they don't always hold your hand. Some of the stuff they do is like, well, they know this is going to go over the heads of people
put
who
in
don't
Easter
have
eggs,
intimate knowledge, and we're going to tell you a story that your mom could watch and make sense, and she could go home happy. And if you're coming into it with a decent knowledge of it, you're gonna be like, wow. And if you're coming into it as a geek, you're gonna be like, holy shit, did you see this, and this?
Yeah.
And then we got a fucking hour and 20-minute breakdown of what happened. And that, instead of just like, oh, it was really cool, we got all these other things. So they know that these movies means different things to different people. They cannot expect us to put all the focus on energy of 60-70 years of a character study on that we get in the comic books on screen. It just doesn't. It's not right. You don't have the time for that. Now, when you have a new character like Moon Knight and you want to switch it up and do something different, and you want to take that and flesh it out, that is an artistic, creative choice. That was a fucking gamble. That might have super backfired in their face. And they could do that with Moon Knight because a lot of people didn't know what Moon Knight was in the first place. Now, if you take Rhodey and you put him in a show as Iron Man and spend 10 weeks, watch him go grocery shopping and shit, it's cool and you're going to get to know more about him, but not every superhero is meant to be, not every superhero's secret identity is as interesting.
Every little thing about his life.
Right,
as
but you
next.
gotta. But
See,
the other
Moon
thing,
Knight's backstory is super interesting enough to take the action sequence out of
Yeah.
it and still be
Yes.
very intriguing.
Yeah. Very
Brody
much so.
the other
isn't.
thing you gotta
Very
remember.
entertaining.
The thing you got to remember too about Rhodey though is we don't have to see him buying his groceries and stuff like that. So, and you don't need a ton of time with him to
Yeah,
develop the
I
character,
agree.
because when you think about it, you look at, obviously he has not been a front and center character
Right now, we're
in
already
all
familiar
of
with
the
him.
MCU properties that he's been in, but what we have seen of him has shown character development. We have seen his loyalty to Tony. Okay, we have seen when the loyalty for to Tony and his sense of duty to the United States of America and to the military, to the Air Force, conflict. When we saw that happen in Iron Man 2. Okay,
And Civil War.
we
when
saw,
he
we
was
saw
on
it
the
happen
government side of registration
in
act.
3. Then in Civil War with the Sokovia Accords. All right,
Yeah.
we saw him.
Yeah.
We saw him tell Captain America that he was dangerously naive. Okay, he's looking at this icon of America when he is a serviceman himself, and he is saying
that was a big
no,
part.
you
man,
have to understand. All right, he wasn't on Tony's side in Civil War. All right, he was on what he felt was his duty bound side
of America
as an American serviceman. There's a difference there. All right, so no, we don't have like a 10-minute long emotional scene with him where you say, we got character development.
Not needed.
We got character development. People just weren't looking for it. Okay,
and you have to also
but it has
understand the
been
simple
there,
fact
and we're going to
that
get more now.
And you have to understand the simple fact that what we got with Sam Wilson was a character, again, like you said, that was conflicted about whether or not he wanted to pick up the shield, being a black man. But you also, and on the flip side, you had Rhodey, who has been a part of the United States military, who was already knew what his job was and didn't give two fucks about what people thought. He was there to basically serve his country the way he believed it. So again,
his scenes in that show are very important and show
and he's strong
the depth
in
of
that
his character. And
let's not be fooled here. Don't get it twisted. Once upon a time, you didn't need a television show to set up the backstory of a character and then fling them into the film. You used to be able to do it within the film.
Go grab a comic book and read it.
But to say that they haven't developed that character, now has he had as much screen time as other leading characters in the MCU? Obviously not. He hasn't had his own movie. He hasn't had his own TV show. Yes. But to say that there hasn't been character development with Rhodey in the MCU over the last 10 years,
that's crazy.
You need to go back and rewatch the MCU.
That's nuts.
Right.
To say that he's not had character
Civil
development,
War, everything.
Come on, man. That's nuts. That's completely and that's I'm sorry, that's naive to say something like that, because he's had so much development. We don't.
Just because it wasn't a scene of him as a child enlisting in like in the army. It's like
when he turned 18, going into the Air Force, we missed that.
But there wasn't a flashback scene
we missed that
of him, joining the army. That doesn't mean that there was
getting bullied in school and then he rises up.
Right.
But also that's what they've already laid the groundwork for all this, which makes something like Armor Wars and the fact that Don Cheadle is going to be in that central role even more exciting, because they've laid the groundwork and now we can see something even more than that. Right. People, you don't have to have 2 hours of emotional scenes focused directly on one character to constitute character development. That's not how cinema works. That's not how television works.
Anyways.
Okay, it's time to flame. Let's see here. Skylar, to the general audience, he's Tony's buddy and a colonel, and that's it. More goes into character development that can definitely be covered in a movie. What's his arc so far in the MCU? Wow. You know what? Let's just move on.
We just said what his character arc was, and if you don't get it, then
so
you're
obviously this I don't know. Maybe you're not watching or haven't seen. Well, again, I've read the comics. I know everything that I need to know about Rhodey. I've seen his development throughout. I mean, we're talking about how many years of the MCU? How many films has he actually been through? Damn, wow, buddy. You need to go back and watch something because it's totally different. Anyway, let's just move on. We're going to talk about something totally different because I'm not going to spend my time with trolls. That's not what we do here. We move on and we talk about some interesting stuff. And we're going to move on to the next one because I'm pretty sure that this is going to be sort of divisive as well. Because I know Vinny felt some type of way. So I'm going to actually start with him first on this news. Actually, no. I'm going to start with Jedi Kid first on this news. Jedi Kid, you were quite happy.
Get him in first in case he gets kicked out again.
I'm gonna get you in first. You were quite happy about this news, bro. And I was so proud of you, bro. Because
yes, you exercised some level of restraint. I applaud you.
Mm-hmm.
You're muted.
Mm-hmm. You're muted, bro.
That's how excited he is.
I said, you see, I sent it to you, Brendan, first, so you guys could see it. So I didn't post nothing before you guys saw it, because bro, I was so excited, dog, to see this.
After
man.
a few incidents, we've told Jason that when it comes to stuff like this,
I get too hyped.
He's not allowed to post on social media until he runs it through us first, so we can verify things before he goes off the handle. But
I get too hyped.
He did it.
I get too hyped
because he messaged us in his excitement, and he was very excited. But he messaged us this first, before, and then we said, "You're good to go. Have fun. Post on social media. It's legit." He just went ham.
Bro, I went ham, boy. I posted like 6-7 posts, dog. I'm so happy to see
I was like, all right, go change your shorts, and then you can post.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I was so happy to see Logan back, bro. I know he's a 6'2" version, but hey, he's the best Logan that we've had in the MCU for Fox now in the MCU. I'm just happy to see them, and I can't wait, bro.
Really?
I love the movie Logan, but the ending, man, that killed me. Seeing him die, I was like, man, this is the end of Wolverine, bro. So to see him back, I'm excited, bro. I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I know you were.
Yeah,
I know
I'm
you
hyped.
were. I know you.
I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
Super excited.
It caught his attention
quickly.
And you
quickly.
Yeah.
Dude.
You had it right.
Because it hit early in the morning. It was early in the morning. I hit y'all like, yo. It was like 7 in the morning. Yo, look at this. Look at this.
Yeah. I mean, again, bro, there's a level of excitement there to be had. And the thing is, they were throwing us Easter eggs for like a couple of years now, and we knew it was going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ryan Reynolds and both Hugh Jackman showing up in the same spots, having these, you know what I mean? One of the funniest ones is when Ryan Reynolds hijacked the X-Men reunion. That shit was funny as hell.
Yeah.
Dude, this was, I guarantee you, this was a stipulation like from the get-go. This was like always the
at
plan.
least 5 years
Ryan
in planning.
was talking to Disney. It was like, look, Hugh Jackman has to be in this, and we have to do this. And they just like now that they're getting closer to actually starting to shoot, then they're like, okay, we'll announce it. This was in the plans years ago. I guarantee it. This when they started first developing this, he was always in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I definitely believe that. Like
it
was always that plan. It was always that plan to have him as part of the option, and they did exactly what they wanted to do. And again, I mean, it's to me, it's going to be now. I just have to put this out there so everybody can realize this. In my opinion, there will probably be only one other space that will basically see Wolverine. Only one other space that will
Secret
actually
Wars?
see it. You know what I mean? So again, that's what I believe. So we'll actually see that going forward. Let me see what's going on here.
I can't wait for this, man.
Do I have to go at somebody?
No.
Please tell me I don't.
No, yeah.
Don't. Especially when it comes to my daughter. Don't do
Charlie
that.
the Unicorn. I really hope Zazie Beetz comes back as
please
Domino. And S-Beam. I don't know if we're gonna get Josh Brolin back as Cable.
Yeah.
Or if we're gonna get Cable in general. I kind of think it would be funny if they.
Did he go back in time? Did he go back to the future?
No, in the second one, he stayed in the present with Deadpool. But to be perfectly honest, I would be okay with them doing some kind of like, because it's Deadpool. It's goofy shit. It's fourth wall breaking. and they just make a joke about like, because he made a joke about him being Thanos in Deadpool 2. I would be like, I would think it would be cool if they went full like 90s Rob Liefeld, like big ass Cable, and just kind of like made a cheeky joke about it not being Josh Brolin anymore, and just go comic book accurate Cable. I would love it if they just did that. I like Josh Brolin, but like he doesn't need the money, and I'd like to see that version of Cable on screen. So that would be cool. But
I want to see Wolverine in the costume, bro. I want to see him in the costume at least.
Oh, that's
the yellow and brown.
That's absolutely
just one time
gonna happen. That's absolutely gonna happen.
Yeah. I can't wait for that, man.
I'm not saying for the whole movie. I'm saying there's going to be at least a scene.
No, just at least once or
gets him
twice
to like try on the costume, and then he's like, "Fuck you," and he like kills. He like stabs Deadpool, takes it off or something. But he's gonna put it on at some point.
Okay. I mean,
what's the girl?
I guess
they teased it in a deleted scene in the Wolverine movie.
Wolverine,
the brown and yellow one.
The one she gave him, the brown and yellow.
I guess I can deal with that, but I just don't. I don't want it to go way through. Yeah,
I'm not saying it's going to be legit. I'm saying it's going to be a gag. Deadpool is going to make a joke of it, and we will see him in it once.
Yeah, definitely. I think we will.
Yeah.
Vinny.
So obviously, I've been on team recast the short Wolverine for my whole life. But this is a whole different scenario. This is fucking Deadpool land, which means it's anything goes. And I don't feel like this is going to be like this is Wolverine going forward with the new X-Men movies.
No, definitely not.
So in that aspect, looking at it that way, I'm obviously cool with it because it's like a swan song for Hugh, and Hugh Jackman has been one of like just the epitome of fan service because he's been so great with fans, and he's always loved that people love him. He never feels like he's embarrassed by that he's Wolverine. He always seems like happy that this was a part of his life, and that's really like that's not always the case with these actors who are in these type of roles, because it's very taxing to be somebody that gets that much attention for outside of all the other movies that you do. But this makes perfect sense for this. I mean, obviously there's that rumor. I don't even know if it's true about how technically with the Fox deal, the actors are all locked into the X-Men roles till 25. I don't know if that's true, but even more so reason why Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman is getting these little workaround ways to be an X-Men in MCU without it being the X-Men in MCU that we're going to eventually get. So it's a great workaround, super, super fan service. Everybody's happy. I am not like the biggest Deadpool fan. Usually I see him in the theaters and then I don't really like go and rewatch him. I like it. It's cool. It's not, my favorite franchise, but I love this news, and I love that Hugh's getting another chance. I'm sure it's going to be fun and crazy. And I don't know how I feel about the costume, only because I feel like it'd be a great introduction to MCU's X-Men if for the first time we see a Wolverine in costume, it's with the new franchise in MCU's. But then again, I mean, we've all wanted to see him in the costume for years, ever since the first film with what do you
black leather crap.
What do you expect us to wear? Yellow and blue spandex? It's like it's been a running thing from since 2001. So literally 20 years this man has been teasing.
Maybe they do one color scheme in this, and then the new Wolverine gets introduced in a different color scheme.
I would love to see them. Blue. I'd rather the yellow and blue in this, and then save the orange and brown for
the yellow and
MCU,
brown for somewhere else.
The orange and brown has always been my favorite Wolverine outfit, so they say that for that. Cool.
If they brought the Hulk into it, and had him come at him in the blue and yellow, that would be if they did that in Deadpool 3, that would be great. That would be great.
That would be awesome, man.
It's another one of those. Oh, I can't believe they pulled this shit off. Deals where wow. I mean, I'm still having trouble wrapping my head around MCU doing a rated R Deadpool movie. So that's to have this happen on top of it. It's pretty wild. So God knows what the how they'll do it. How obviously, they in one of their little skits in their little trailers, they said that this will be obviously like before take place before Logan, because Logan is set in the future, and it's a great thing for Hugh Jackman fans. I really did not like any of the Wolverine movies until Logan, and then I was like, oh shit, why haven't y'all been doing it like this? So I'm excited to see what he does in this. Hopefully he's violent and berserker Wolverine, and then they have some fun with it, because that's something that is one of those things that they've teased and joked around with for years. But Deadpool and Wolverine in the same film is pretty wild, especially in MCU, where that's two characters that are outside of the wheelhouse.
The Fox.
Two characters. Yeah, I mean it's like Punisher. It's characters that aren't the type of character we've seen in MCU much of. So
those two characters just. I mean, even in just a recent issue of Wolverine that they've had on the recent runs, like when Deadpool is trying to get them to let him back on X-Force and go on Krakoa and stuff like that, they had some really good issues recently. The characters they work so well together. And Leo, I know we've both said possibility of this not being his only one, that maybe they keep him around so he can show up in Secret Wars. Because, which I'm not saying is a certainty, but I am open to the possibility, because you got to remember that Hugh Jackman has said that it was his dream to be able to be Wolverine in an Avengers movie.
That would be
and
so.
This opens the door.
God.
For him to maybe be in Secret Wars, and with incursions and all that, who knows? I mean, they could make it happen somehow. It's entirely possible.
I hope so. I hope so, bro.
If the story is right, if they execute it well, and it's not just to bring him in, if they can figure out a way to really work it so that it brings him into Secret Wars, okay. But if it's just for the fan service, I'd rather them not do that. The video that he did with Ryan Reynolds, announcing this, the slash, across the logo,
that's from the comic books.
It makes me think that this is like a buddy, like a team up, Marvel team up movie. Like, it's not just a cameo or a small role that Wolverine is going to be playing. He's going to be in this for the whole movie, in the ride with with Deadpool. So I do think that it's going to be basically a Deadpool and Wolverine movie. In the tone, that is known to Deadpool, though. But one of the things that I had said yesterday, though, is one way that you could potentially keep Hugh Jackman in this role for a little bit longer, maybe even kind of do a little joke, poking fun at it, in Deadpool 3, but then also maybe keep him around for Secret Wars, maybe keep him around
X-Men
as they introduce younger X-Men and a new Wolverine into the MCU. Maybe, and I know this is kind of out there, but we've seen crazier stuff. Maybe Old Man Logan. If they decided they wanted to do something like that, you could have him play, because I mean, look at how great he was in Logan, playing that older grizzled version of Wolverine. What if they, give him the brown leather duster and he's, from the wastelands and stuff? Maybe at some point you can bring Maestro into the mix. Who knows? But what if you had an old man? Because we've had plenty of instances where we've had multiple iterations of Wolverine in the comics at the same time on different teams, where Old Man Logan was on X-Force, and then you had Wolverine,
X-Force.
the original coming back and stuff. It's entirely possible that you could do something like that. Think about an X-Force team with comic accurate Cable, Old Man Logan, Deadpool, Domino. That I'd watch the shit out of that X-Force movie.
Yeah, so, I definitely would. But thinking forward, especially with Marvel, I mean, with them, it's kind of hard to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I give that a 5% chance of happening. But there's shit that I get. I mean, I would have given less than 5% that we would have gotten a Moon Knight, a Ms. Marvel, or She-Hulk
And we got
TV
it.
show.
True.
And we got them. So that's why I give it 5%.
So do
I wouldn't
you
be
think we'll
opposed.
get X-23 or Sabretooth somewhere?
Me personally,
Possibly.
and Vinny, you already know how I feel about X-23. I definitely want to see X-23 back. Again, it just depends.
I want to see her, yeah.
I mean, and she can.
And that girl from the
Daphne
Logan
King
movie was great.
If you see her now,
that little girl
she can
act,
definitely play the role. She can definitely play the role as a grown-up version of X-23, and I think it can be like, I would love to see Sabretooth. We talked about this yesterday.
Yeah,
I would love to see Liev Schreiber come back and play it. As long as they do it well. It would be good. But again, this opens the door for. But the thing is, before I think about them, you got to bring Zazie Beetz back. I want to see her back as Domino. I definitely want to see her back.
Domino,
yeah. Exactly. Bring her back. And then we could talk about how they're going to actually, and I think they're going to do a good job. I mean, thus far, I've been thoroughly entertained, with both, Deadpool films.
And it's the same team. Yes, it's under Disney, but it's the same team making it.
The Cable, here's the thing. I wasn't happy about Cable. I definitely was not. I wasn't happy about the iteration.
Josh was just too small, dude.
He was way too small, bro. Like way too small, and
Cable's was like what, 6'4"?
Bro, he's exactly.
Well,
bro,
yeah, but Cable's also supposed to be just like hulking, like big, and I didn't hate it because I got used to it because I was like, all right, I know that this is the direction they're going, so I had time to warm up to it because I think out of the size, he played the character well.
Yeah.
So
he gave it. Yeah, but Ecto1701 asked, will it be the Logan version or the X-Men version? I mean, ultimately, it's going to be Disney's whatever they want version, of this. I doubt it's going to be the Logan, because James Mangold, when he made Logan, even said this isn't really in the Fox continuity because the Fox continuity doesn't really exist anyway. Because they threw continuity out the window; it was all over the place. But he said this was its own. This was its own thing. It wasn't like, oh, this follows the line of Days of Future Past.
I feel like it'll be neither. It'll be neither.
Yeah, exactly. This is just going to be its own thing, and they'll make
it'll
jokes
be somewhere
because it's Deadpool. They'll make jokes about the fact that it's not the exact thing from any of the Fox movies because their continuity was all fucked up. Nor is it like, okay, now this is a young Wolverine that's going to be in the MCU.
For the Logan timeline?
It's not going to be
Logan was set in the future,
attached to any of those timelines.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. But you think they'll ignore that?
Yeah, well, it's set in the future.
They'll make
Logan was set in the future, so why would they mention it at all?
They will make jokes about it within Deadpool, but they're not going to tie themselves to like, oh, this is a specific continuity, or this is the Days of Future Past timeline, or this is the Logan timeline, because Disney doesn't even give a shit about those timelines. To them, those timelines exist only insofar as Deadpool
That's what
can
I
make
want.
fun of them.
They don't exist.
That's it.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
It'll be just completely outside the box Wolverine here.
Yeah, it'd be
before we change
with them. Yeah.
Before I wanted to ask y'all something about Armor Wars. I know it's back a little bit, but do you think we'll get an AI version of Tony? I mean, especially with Riri Williams, because the AI version of Tony was like a mentor to her.
Yeah,
too.
there have been rumors. There have been rumors about it, and but again, I don't think so. But people were saying if Robert Downey Jr. was going to come back to do something, he would probably want it to be a film rather than a Disney Plus series. That's the only other thing that I could see that maybe would have contributed to them moving it to the big screen. But I think that's a long shot. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be cool if it did.
It'd be so cool to see him as an AI for her, man. That'd be dope, for her, bro.
Making a return like that, because they were talking about it with Chris Evans too. It's hard because the way they went out on top, right? With the way Endgame ended,
they went out
on top with those characters. And if you're gonna come back after you already had your swan song, and now you're gonna come back it's like that fighter that goes one fight longer than he should have, and it's just like he's not the same. And so it's like if they're gonna bring those characters back, you got to do it the right way, and that's hard to do. So I don't know if that would. My gut says that won't happen, but I wouldn't discount it entirely.
Just because he was such a big part of Riri Williams in the comic, as far as a mentor to her. The AI of Tony was there. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It would be cool to see if they did do it. I don't know. I didn't mean to rewind, but that was the question I had to ask you guys because that was a dope part of her story.
People have been asking that. People have been asking that based on like the Ironheart TV show and on this when it was a TV show and now it's a film. It's been a question that a lot of people have been asking. Nobody knows right now.
Lady Deathstrike in this, it would probably be a little bit too convoluted. It would be interesting to see, but I don't think it would actually fit in this. In this particular story right now, maybe in a later iteration of another Wolverine, they can actually bring it in and bring us the better version of Lady Deathstrike.
That's the thing. You don't want to blow your load and show all these different characters and stuff in Deadpool 3 and then not have them for the introduction of mutants as we go throughout the future of the MCU. So it's like, if you bring somebody in, it's like, oh, hey, here's Lady Deathstrike. Then it's like, it robs us of an opportunity for them to introduce Lady Deathstrike in the right story and in the right moment in a film down the road. So I don't want them to throw a ton of new characters we haven't seen into this. One or two, if it's done the right way and it's something that we likely wouldn't get elsewhere. Okay. Right. But I mean, Lady Deathstrike is. I really enjoy that character. It's a cool character, so I wouldn't want them to just throw her into this. Do
you think Sabretooth is too much for Deadpool 3? Because they all knew each other from.
I don't think we're going to get a lot of
Wolverine 1.
I don't think we're going to get a lot of Wolverine characters shoehorned into this
movie.
You don't think?
You know what?
Like one or two?
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, like I would be open to Sabretooth, but I want like a comic looking Sabretooth though. But I think characters that we'd be more likely to see in this than somebody like a main Wolverine character like a Sabretooth. I think would be somebody like Maverick. All right, like another merc that has ties to both Wolverine and Deadpool. Is not a major comic book character in his own right, but he's one that that you could drop into this movie and you're not worried about. Oh, now we don't have Maverick for like later in the MCU. Like nobody's worried about
Maverick would be sick.
Somebody like him to drop into this movie. I could see characters like him. But I don't think we're gonna all of a sudden get all these other like huge characters coming into this because they want to be able to do those versions
later on.
Yeah, it's the same reason why I've been saying forever that like I don't think Daredevil is going to be a continuation straight on of the Netflix one because you want to be able to do the Hand. A comic book version of the Hand. Done on Netflix. You want to be able to do, comic book accurate versions of Bullseye and of Typhoid Mary, who they wasted on the second season of Iron Fist, right? You want to be able to bring those in and do your own versions, just like later you wanted to have a sliver of the symbiote in the MCU, so then you could do your own version of Black Suit and Venom with, and not be tied to Sony's bullshit. So yeah, I don't think they're going to do it for that reason.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that, like I said, I mean, this is just prep work. Again, the multiverse sets up so many opportunities, and I think it's purposely done to take some of those Fox IPs, certain things that they can play around with, and make right, set right. Again, bring certain characters that they know people that were beloved by individuals. You're not going to see all of them, but you'll see most of them brought in, and just to kind of say, okay, cool, they're here. Remember, this is to pay homage, give them a swan song like we talked about, and then bring new iterations of those particular characters in through the multiverse. And I think that's what they're going to do. But I do think, we're going to actually see, I do basically think that we will see Hugh Jackman in Secret Wars. I just think.
I think it's a possibility, but I don't know how.
I think we could. I think we could.
Possibly. I think he'd be around Secret Wars, man. I think so.
Because who knows? It might
That'd
even
be-
actually been in his clause. Like, look, if you're going to bring me back for this film, I want to be in something huge. Because
He
this is something
said
that
he
I want.
wants to be in an Avengers
He wants to
movie,
be in the Avengers
so,
film. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I love what
Yep.
no, I don't, Charlie the Unicorn, I don't think they would do, you know, he said, would Deadpool 3 do the kill all the Marvel story? Like, no, they wouldn't, but I could see that being like a funny tag, like a funny scene at the end of the credits where maybe they just kind of like, you know, have like a, you know, like a battle or like there's just like a mountain of like bodies and we just see maybe like you know,
Them on the
Thor's
top of
arm
him.
or a cap shield or
Mhm.
something like
I could
that.
see him reading the comic.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Or be like,
Mhm.
oh, that's a good idea. Or like,
Exactly.
oh, sequel or something. Like I could see them incorporating it as a gag, but not like fully going into it as a storyline in the movie.
Oh, but Deadpool kills everyone.
Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, like
Yeah,
Deadpool
yeah,
kills,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah. It would be funny, but again, I think it would be something that they did as a gag,
That's a
not as
post-credit
a core
gag.
focus of the
Mhm.
movie. Yeah.
It's going to be
Mhm.
interesting to see how, you know, again, it'd be interesting to see how he fits into the MCU.
Yeah.
If and
He's-
how they're going to do it, or if it's going to be one of those situations because it's rated R, if it's going to be a standalone. You know, it'd be interesting to
Mhm.
see.
Yeah. Does he show up in other MCU properties after this? Or is it like, okay, we're going to do Deadpool movies, but you're not going to actually show up in any of the other stuff? You know?
Yeah, that's the interesting part of how they would pull something like that off. Because, again, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, you know, Ryan Reynolds wants to kind of play in that wheelhouse as well, but he wants to play off of certain characters. And there are certain
Yeah.
iteration of characters that he could play off of. But again, it's just going to be a tricky situation to bring a rated R franchise into an IP that you've strictly made, you know, PG friendly, PG or PG-13 friendly. So
Yeah.
it'd be hard to kind of mix both. So I think they're going to play it really tight to the chest and do something completely different. They might actually bring him in a much darker universe that kind of brings. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
We'll see how it actually
Yeah.
happens. So,
That's
But
a-
you know, Ryan
It's an
Reynolds.
interesting question.
He,
What'd you say?
Sorry, no. Charlie the Unicorn asked
Yeah.
any trepidation about it being the Free Guy director. I actually,
Free Guy was
I
actually
thought Free
pretty
Guy
good.
was entertaining. I liked it.
Yeah,
I like
Free Guy was
Free
No,
pretty
he's
good.
good,
Yeah,
I think,
so
right?
I'm not worried about
Yeah, I
that
like
at
him,
all.
yeah.
No.
Mm-mm.
It comes down to do they execute well story wise? Did they come up with a good story that doesn't feel neutered? You know, that still feels like in line with Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2. That you know does justice to the team up that we're getting now of Deadpool and Wolverine. That it's all in the writing. It's all in the writing of this.
It's definitely
But
all
you
in the
see,
writing.
Deadpool was Ryan Reynolds' baby, man. He's not gonna let them mess up this movie. He won't let him do it. Like, I don't think he'll let him change it.
I don't
You know.
think he wants that to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
But Green Lantern.
Oh God, stop! Why you have to bring that
No,
up?
I'm just saying that actors
DC,
make
for real?
mistakes. He's freely admitted he made a mistake. He signed on to do
You're
that
wrong for
movie
that.
without a script, and then
You're
they
wrong for that.
started filming when they didn't even have the script finished. He had freely
No,
admits
but I'm saying-
that was a fuck up.
Yeah, but I'm saying he loves Deadpool. I don't think he would let them mess up Deadpool like they did Green Lantern. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but money and studios, it all
Yeah.
It's a much
know
different.
until
This
it's
is a much different ball game here. And with Fox, it's like they didn't really know what Deadpool was, and they were kind of like, I don't know, man, just go ahead here. And they're, you know, after it made damn near $1 billion, then Fox was like, oh shit, what do we have here? And got more involved. MCU is not going to be going into Deadpool not really knowing what it was and just letting them experiment. They are absolutely going to be carefully, releasing this their way.
Mhm.
Ryan
also,
Reynolds
this
is,
movie is going to have a much bigger budget than they had for the first two.
Ryan was kind of
means
like
the
left to
studio
his
is
own
gonna be like-
devices.
Yeah, and the studio is going to be paying close attention to what he's using the money for. Whereas Fox, at first, they were like, "All right, go make this movie," and then it was a success.
literally hands off. Like that
Yeah.
is why that movie made. Like if you look at virtually everything Fox had done before Deadpool was like mostly trash, and then Deadpool came out, and you could tell from just watching it that this wasn't the same studio. It did.
Right.
It felt like they had nothing to do with it. And that
If
is why it
Fox
so
was
good.
involved in the first movie, it wouldn't have been what it was.
Right.
And the only reason why the second movie was what it was because with the hands-off way they did the first one, Fox realized, oh wait, what they did made money, so we'll pay more attention, but we'll let them do that again.
Yeah.
And then it made money. But it never would have happened if they weren't hands off on the first one.
Right.
This is true. This is true. Great discussion, everybody, tonight. I like it when I could just sit back and listen to y'all talk and just chime in every now and then. Because that makes for good banter. What's up?
Do you want to quickly cover She-Hulk or?
Why not?
I mean,
we can do it.
I don't. It's not really a whole lot to me. It's like it was better than the last couple episodes.
Let me ask everybody out there real quick. Let's get. Do you think we should cover? Do you want to see us cover She-Hulk? I mean, we've watched it. Of course, this is what we do. We watch it. I think that last week's episode was pretty. It was okay. You know what I mean? It was definitely okay. But we did miss out again. One of the things I want to cover before that, which is more important, is New York Comic Con. I want to actually touch on that really quick because again. Sure. I know there's a lot of people, and I didn't really want to spend too much time on everything else, but New York Comic Con, highly important. It's coming up. It's something that's going to be starting this Thursday. We are excited about it. I know you guys are as well. As first of all, who out there in the chat is going? Let me know. Who out in the chat is actually going to New York Comic Con? Let me know. I want to know because it's again, probably one of my most highly anticipated functions of the year. We go every year. The con is just so incredible. It just means so much.
Bloodsport's gonna be there.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
Yeah. Every year we walk in that building, I just feel like, all right, we're home. It's definitely like a home away from home. It's not just that it's New York. That's where my dad's from. It's good to be in the city.
Oh yeah,
everything is so alive. And then you go in there and it's literally
buzzing.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are just into the same shit you are. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to hold back. You geek. It's just everybody just gets to be free and be themselves. And everyone's always such a good mood and so fucking happy and caring. It's just such a great, community type atmosphere. It's so much fun. Every year we look forward to it all year. And the year, man, with the pandemic, man, that sucked not being able to go that year. So I never will miss it if it's
2 years.
So I can't wait. I can't wait, man.
Mm-hmm. And it's the thing about New York Comic Con is, what you basically what Charlie the Unicorn said, nerd. Yeah, you know it all day, bro.
Damn right.
You're damn right. It is. It's a full-fledged on nerd function where we go in. But here's the thing, though. Charlie the Unicorn is crazy because you see all walks of life. You see the thuggish of thugs in this piece. Loving it. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It brings everybody together. You know what I mean? Families together. It's such an amazing function to be able to go to Artist Alley, to go to some of the actual panels. And we don't go to panels. We go to basically walk the floor.
I lose too much time on it. You lose too much time.
Yeah, right.
You lose too much time. I mean, there's great stuff on panels that I could watch on YouTube later. I'd rather hang out and look at just cosplayers all day. If I have money to go,
the figures,
like there's never a day at Comic-Con where we don't spend at least an hour of the day just taking pictures of awesome, amazing costumes that we see. It's most of the fun for it is just seeing all the different creative and unique ideas that people come with for their cosplays and their costumes, and just it's amazing. It's so much fun.
And remember, with back, we gave you, we did an episode where we talked about some tips, when you're going to a con. If you're going to hunt comic books, Vinny will be darting through and Lael will be trying to chase them. If you're going for comic books, bring cash, okay?
Yes.
Just because cash will get you the best deals, all right? You can negotiate with dealers. You can get the best deals, so bring cash. But especially if you're not used to being in a major city like New York, keep your value, like keep them in your front pocket. Like don't want to be walking around New York and getting pickpocketed. Just all your wallets not in your back pocket. Keep shit in your front pockets. All right. Don't keep your wallet in like the zipper pouch on your backpack or something, because that can easily be opened and be taken. Like, keep your stuff. Every so often, just reach into your pocket, make sure you got it there. But cash is king. Is like. Obviously, I mean, you might find some like collectibles dealers, like, that are selling like stock, figures or statues or something that maybe will work a deal with you. Most of the time, they're not going to do big deals as much as comic book vendors. But like when in doubt, like bring cash. That's going to be your best friend. Bring, if you've got like, tubes to put prints in, if you want. So like. Because the worst thing is like if you get a really nice print or really nice book or something, and you don't have something to put it in securely, and then you're just wandering around with like a plastic bag, people are bumping into you next to you, you get all these creases and shit that you just spent a lot of money on. So make sure to protect the stuff that that you're bringing or that you're gonna be buying there. Have a good time, man. Hunt down, like, it's always the best thing about coming away from a con like this is when you come away with like some badass prints or books, stuff that you didn't have before, that you couldn't just like order a hot toy online or something like that. It's something that you got at the show. It just makes it more special. So hunt something down, man.
Yeah, and for me,
go to Michael's and get your tubes for your posters, man. Michael's has those tubes for your posters.
Yeah. For me, it's a bit tricky because when I go, I don't go. Here's the thing, it's crazy because when I go to Comic-Con, I normally don't go to grab too many books. My thing is when I go is to grab prints, photos, maybe, find certain things that are, extremely like rare. If I find, because majority of the books that I get, I know I can actually get from my local shop, and he can actually find things that I'm unable to find.
Yeah. So when you're at a show, it's about hunting like vintage, it's older books and stuff like that. Not like shit that comes out like last month.
You don't need all that. And the thing is, if I find rare,
I always think it's really weird when I always think it's really weird when the new release comics that week are on a table. It's like,
why?
Who's coming to your Comic-Con to get that week's Batman? It's just weird, you know what I mean?
I can buy it from the mom and pop shop down the street.
But you know what? But with that basically being said, though,
they bring it for a reason.
They bring it for a reason because they have people who are traveling that might have actually gotten there earlier, even before that Wednesday, and went straight to the con. It's like, oh damn, I forgot to get here as it is. Bam, I can just grab it.
But there are also people like there are also people.
Okay, I didn't think about
because
that.
The thing is, you have people that you have artists and comic book writers that are going to be doing signings too, right? Frank Miller is doing it. Peach Momoko, right? There are a lot of people that are doing signings.
Todd McFarlane will be there,
right? Yeah. Exactly. So some people are like, I want to go and I want to pick up a Todd McFarlane book there. I want to pick up the new issue of Batman and Spawn. I want to pick up the new issue of whatever. And I don't want to have to if I'm traveling, I don't want to have to bring it in with me and a copy that I have to lug around and then it gets damaged. So I want to buy a fresh, clean copy of the recent Batman, and then I want to bring it up to Chip Zdarsky if he's there and have him sign it, or Jorge Jimenez, stuff like that. So
and a lot of times you'll see that a post-it saying Tom Taylor's here, booth such and such, whatever, so
and if you're just getting something signed, like just for you, just to have it in your PC, right, then you're good. If you're getting something signed and you want it to get slabbed, you want to get it graded and stuff, make sure to hit up, if they don't have a rep at that particular booth, like with some people with like Frank Miller, they had people like there already.
They're supposed to have others, there,
go to the CGC booth, and you get a witness to go with you to see your book signed, so then they can authorize it, certify it, and then you can get it graded, and you can get the yellow label instead of the qualified label. So just if you're getting anything signed, just think about that in advance, so if you need to go grab somebody to help you on that front. I know they do other stuff. They do like video games. They do prints and stuff too. I don't care about like having prints verified because I know I'm gonna be having I'm gonna be Venmoing Lael, and he's gonna pick up some stuff for me from from David Mack's table because he's going to be there. David Mack is one of my all-time favorite writers and artists, and Marco Cicchetto is going to be there. So I got to have Lael pick up a couple things for me since I can't make it this year.
Yeah, hell yeah. I got you. I got
That's
you. And that's the
up.
thing
Yeah,
is, it's like one of the biggest things. Now, Bloodsport, I know you going, bro. Who else? Bro, if you're going, man, tell us what day you're going to be there. So
I do that. I do that.
Yeah.
I buy
definitely.
some.
Louis LeBetz, Bloodsport, Allen will have to link up with y'all, man.
Hell yeah. Like, Lewis, if you're going to basically be there, man, like, let's schedule. Let's do this now. Like, if it's going to be a Friday, because we'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yep.
Let us know what day you're going to be there. Like, and we can all, because it'll be us. Arum's going to be there. Rita's going to be there. We're going to have Luminar is going to be there. Loco
That's right,
Lou is going
Lumi's
to
coming
basically be there as well.
Man.
So there's going to be a ton of people. So definitely let us. He said I'll be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Yeah, bro. Friday and Saturday we'll basically be there, bro. So let us know. Definitely let us know, man. Because that's the part. Now here's the thing. Whichever one of y'all is going to be there, y'all got Dipset duty. I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all got y'all got Dipset duty. Whichever y'all's going to be there, y'all going to find Vinny.
Lael, you just gotta get one of those harnesses that like parents have like for their little kids.
Just
put it on like this.
like the red flag. Like the red flag that they put on fire hydrants, so you can find it in snowstorm. Just get
like the ones that people have on the back of their bikes too, like the tall pole with the red flag on it. Just
the tall with the red flag at the top.
Yeah. So Loco is definitely gonna be there, man. It's gonna be a ton of people there. So let it, and that's the thing is like the beauty of it is it's not. Here's the thing: some of the coolest shit that happens at the con is not on the main floor. Plain it's not.
How much shit have we seen just on the streets, just
on
outside?
the street, outside?
Yo, we were walking pizza one day on the way back, and there was a dude with a Captain America costume on a motorcycle riding up and down the street.
And the best food, sure as shit, ain't gonna be in the convention center. It's not in the Javits Center.
No. Oh,
you gotta venture out into
it's
the
outside.
City to find some really
it's outside.
Yeah.
Hey, we staying at Cookie
It's a
Supreme.
spot right
Definitely
our
hotel makes warm ass cookies, bro, every single day. They make warm ass chocolate chip cookies.
That's what's up.
They do, bro. It's the dopest hotel. We found it on a whim, and they make sure
the breakfast is fire too.
Yeah. So definitely.
But they got a full breakfast for you guys.
Yeah.
Full breakfast.
Plus, you gotta get bagels while you're down there. If you're whenever you're in New York City or you're in Jersey, you gotta get bagels.
Listen. And the
I
pizza,
actually think the bagels in Jersey.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Yo, it's the pizza spot across from the Javits Center.
What's wrong with a bagel, man? Bagels are great.
I knew you was gonna say that shit.
Listen,
it was coming.
I'm telling you, the bagels in Jersey are actually better than the bagels in New York City.
I'll take your word for it, bro. I'm not really.
But the pizza in NYC is phenomenal, bro. Especially by Jacob Javits.
You're only getting like Thomas's, like from Stop and Shop or something, man. Have a bagel when you're down there, and you'll be like, oh shit, okay, that
bagel changed my life.
It will.
I'm with you.
But you know what? Here's the thing, because down the street from our hotel is a bodega that we go every year. Like it's they make these.
Tremble Dust, I'm telling you,
the sandwich meat dudes go here.
No, Tremble Dust, I'm telling you, don't. Like, I know you say how dare you, Jersey is better. The Jersey
flat meat.
Better. I'm telling you, they're better. The Jersey bagels with the pork roll. All right, you do the pork roll and egg sandwich on Jersey bagels, man. God. If you haven't had that, you don't know. You don't know. Pork roll sandwiches on bagels
in
Jersey.
Newark.
That's where it's at.
Newark, bro. Newark, New Jersey, bro.
I ain't eat no pork roll, man. You know I ain't eat no damn pork roll, man.
You know.
I ain't eat no damn pork roll.
You're missing out.
It ain't gonna happen. I don't do pork.
Out.
You know I don't. That's not my
Just
part.
Smell it, bro. It smells good.
No, I'm good. I'm not doing it. I live vicariously through you guys or Vinny. I'm not doing that. I don't
melted cheese and egg on top of with the bagel. Oh my god!
I just don't do. Look at this, bro.
Hot sauce on it. Yep, that's where.
Look, you know what? The best part about Comic-Con.
Oh my god! Now you're talking.
Listen, like the beauty of Comic-Con was the first time I took Latoya T, bro, and we were up on this level looking down, bro. It was the best thing. Baby. She's we turned her out. She never been the same, and she wants to go every year because she knows it's fun. And it's just so much to do because the thing is, I love the simple fact that they spread it out throughout New York. You know, it's like you can smell the con everywhere, man. Literally, you can smell
Let, let me ask, is there a
take over the
DC
city.
panel this year?
They haven't. They haven't.
I don't think so.
There's
You
it.
can
You
just
know
say
what?
no.
The thing
You
is,
just
as
say no.
far as
Just say
as
no.
far as
It's not like a
There was-
Marvel and DC like studios like panels usually. Like if they do at
He
NYCC,
said you could-
it's more
he said
like
you
I
could-
told him to just say no, bro.
he said you can
I
say no.
said
Just say no. Just say
whatever,
no.
Like,
I
New
mean,
York.
There was
New York
one.
Comic Con isn't
Serious.
like SDCC
I haven't been to the
for, like,
to the New York Comic Con since 2017, 2016.
they don't.
So it's
they
been a
don't
minute
do
for
it the
me. I
same
used to go a
way.
lot when I was stationed at Fort Drum.
They don't do it the same way where it's like this the TV and film studios doing presentations there. If you get a panel from Marvel or DC at NYCC, more than likely it's like Marvel Comics. It's like DC Comics.
They're
it's
not
not
gonna be
like
anything.
movies, announcements,
DC
and stuff like
movies is a
that.
big no. All right.
There was a Warner Brothers panel, but they canceled it as a tax write-off.
Oh, deep
Fucking
cut.
bullshit.
Deep cut.
Probably was. Probably was.
I mean-
I'm taking that. I'll take it. I'll
but there's
take it.
but honestly, bro, there's not going to be much presence of anybody there because there's a lot of panels that are pulled out. Like a lot of things that
Are they gonna have Hot Toys there?
no
Sideshow stuff, Hot Toys. stuff?
sideshow's not going to be
No?
there. That's why they're doing that sideshow
Nope, side-
con right now.
Yeah, they're doing the sideshow con job. I mean, con. But yeah, they're not. No,
Oh
they won't.
wow.
They're gonna do their own online thing. The whole week.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, they're not gonna have.
Because that's smart.
Yeah.
But last
So,
time I was
there
there,
are
they had Hot Toys was there, and they had the
doing
Justice
a
League
con online.
the set.
It's
in
like
the glass.
you could go to a website. That's what the internet is.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point is to go there. Actually, in
There are
person.
some statue companies that are going to be there, and I'm sure some.
Oh, they're gonna
vendors,
have
like,
statues there still.
There will be
Okay.
some statue companies, and I'm sure some vendors will
Mhm.
have, will be, independent vendors will be
There's
selling
other
some hot
statue
toys,
vendors.
but you're not gonna see any like
Mhm.
prototypes at New York. You're not gonna see any
No.
like sideshow and
Mhm.
hot toys like prototypes or
Mhm.
anything like that. There'll be some vendors, some statue ones,
You'll
But I
have
mean-
vendors that will actually sell, but they're going to upcharge on most 6-scale figures that you're basically looking for. So there'll be vendors there. I wouldn't be surprised if Kodabakaya is going to actually be there. They might actually be there because they're there every year. But
Kotobukiya,
Yeah, they go every- they go
PCS, some of
every
those
year.
might be.
They're there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but and the thing is, because I was even talking to John, I was like, yo, John, it would have been a perfect opportunity for Queen Studio to be there when Sideshow's not there to draw instead of basically going to Vegas.
What?
It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
They,
But I mean,
they put all
Boys
they put all their
era Queen
focus.
Studios.
Queen
Yeah.
Studios put all their focus on Vegas because their event is more to talk to distributors. It's more to talk to, companies and show off the products so that they have more distribution options in the States
Oh,
as their
gotcha.
licenses
And I
get
expand. So they're not
Mhm.
trying to they're not trying to show off product to, customers and people who are going to order. They're trying to show the strength of their product to
Mhm,
companies that will carry it in
Vendors,
the
yeah.
States. So that's why for them, I guarantee you, Queen, because they were at SDCC, I guarantee you they'll be at New York next year. But this year there'll be some vendors that might carry some Queen Studios pieces for sale, but you're not going to see again like pre-order prototypes and stuff like that. It's not going to be that thing for Queen Studios next year. I bet you it will be. But yeah, because they have to have some more products out first before they can do that. Next year, they're going to have InArt 6 scales out. They're going to have more statues that have released. So then they'll have, a presence at New York, but just not this year. New York Comic Con, like you go for the books, you go for the prints, like that's where it's at. That's where that's where it's at. You're not going to, there's more energy, there's more fun and excitement in hunting down great art and great books than seeing a prototype of a 6 scale or a statue, or buying a 6 scale or a statue that you could have bought online too. Like it's different to
Well, that's
the
where
books.
I first saw the Justice League statues when I was at that New York Comic Con, and I was real hyped when I saw the Cyborg. You know what I mean, with the JLA. So
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, go
fun.
figure. We're just
It's
getting that
fun
this
to
year.
see them. It's fun to see them,
Mhm.
but like
Mhm.
then that's it. Then you're done. It's like, okay, I've seen it. Cool.
Yeah,
right?
true.
Whereas
Yeah.
books and prints, you're hunting. Like that's why Lael has such a
Mhm.
hard time keeping track of any, right? Because
Mhm.
there's always the next table, the next booth to see.
The next
and
table.
I would go
yeah.
like at Fan Expo Boston, I'd go up and down every aisle like 10 times each minimum. Because you go up an aisle 5 times, and on the 6th
Mhm.
time, you still see something that you didn't catch the first 5 times. There's always stuff to see. There's always new pieces to hunt down, stuff that different con exclusives that they launch on different days, or maybe this artist or this writer was only there on Saturday, Sunday, and not on Friday when you were first there. So like, there's always new stuff to see in those. But that's where it's at. Like, as much as I love statues and 6 scales, to me, that's like only an add-on. That's not the core of why you go to these shows.
Oh yeah, no. It
True,
feels damn
true.
good though, but it's not, because my main thing is Prince, and I know that some
Yeah.
of the artists that I'm looking
Mhm.
for, that I'm always looking for, will be there. You know
And
what I
you
mean?
discover new ones too that
Yeah,
you had never
yeah.
seen before, and you're like, oh
You
shit.
guys
One
have
of the artists though,
There's
one of
always
the artists
amazing
that I'm
artists.
Jim Lee
looking
there this
for
year?
is not going to be there. Jim Lee?
Yeah,
you
is
say,
he there
Jim
this
Lee?
year?
I don't think Jim Lee will
I
be there.
think
I don't think
Yeah.
Jim Lee's there.
no, you don't think, because
He
I know
hasn't-
he's hitting a lot
No,
of
not
cons
this-
because
He
he did
hasn't been.
SDC.
Well, he hasn't been announced yet. He would have been by now, probably.
Oh, all right, yeah. If he wasn't
He's supposed to
announced,
come to ours, and he canceled at the last minute. But I got my print. He still had the print signed and stuff. Just go to his
Yeah.
booth and pick him up. But I think he had COVID or something at the last minute. He canceled.
Leo, who was it that you said you were looking for?
I think his name is Keno. You know the guy that I got the
I know he talked about. I don't remember his name though. I know he.
yeah, he's not there. He's not going to be there. He already let us know. He's not going to be there this year. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, it's going to be a low presence of individuals that we know, but
print,
still,
art print.
yeah.
But you'll find other artists that you've never seen before that you're like, oh shit, like look at
That's the best thing about the cons, bro.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not like going to
Yeah.
see the statue companies or like the 6 scale brands that you're already familiar with. Like cons is
Mhm.
about the hunt, and it's about discovery, right? Not stuff that we
Yeah.
see online and can pre-order from Sideshow or Toys Wonderland or Pop.
Sideshow.
Like,
Yeah.
Because there's like, what's the fun in that? Like, it's about finding the books, it's about finding the prints, it's about finding, like I found like the lady who does all of her art in copper, right? And I got those framed pieces that like I knew nothing about her. I
Whoa.
found her at a con and got stuff signed. I fucking love
That's
those.
pretty cool.
Now that's it's about discovering stuff like that you didn't know was there. Not about going and finding stuff that you can pre-order online any damn time you want.
Yeah. I mean, it's, for me, it's like I said, mainly is, again, I go for artists, honestly, again, find rare pieces, Artist Alley, of course, take pictures, you know what I mean, commune with some of my favorite artists, definitely.
Cosplayers, yeah.
And just like I said, be home, be in New York, man. Like, it's just to feel it, you know what I mean, just to feel the environment. So that's the big point. It's always the best time to go during fall season. So I'm definitely excited about that. Everybody out there that's going, man, let me know. Let us know. We'll be there again Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Bloodsport. Who else? Louis Labette. Who else is going?
Oh, Alan Ling said he's going.
Who?
Alan Ling.
Alan Ling. Okay,
Yeah.
Alan. Definitely meet there. So let's link up, man. If you're going Friday or Saturday, let's link up. Let's plan it. We got a couple days. Let's plan it. We'll link up. hang
Everybody
out.
who's going, just send foot pics to Lael.
Don't do
and
that.
then he'll respond
You'll
and he'll
get
let you know
banned.
where to go.
You'll get banned. You'll get banned. If you send me footprints or any type of foot,
Make
Print
sure
it out.
make sure
Footprints.
make sure
Footprints.
it's foot
Footprints.
pics, not prints. That
Foot
would
pics.
be weird. Make sure it's foot pics, and you have to either be wearing
Foot pics.
flip flops or Crocs.
yeah, no,
Okay?
don't do
And you
that.
send those to Lael.
Don't do that.
This dude always
If you
starting
value,
stuff, man.
if you value friendship, that's not something that you definitely do. So just forget about all that. Just forget that you even heard that conversation.
White
If you
Crocs
value our
with
friendship,
black socks.
don't do it.
White
Blood
Crocs
With the
sport,
toe-
black socks. That's what you got to do.
blood
the toe in
sport.
saying
Sounds like a
Lewis,
horrible
Oh,
porn
God.
title.
If you Hunter
Ugh.
Lewis, he's my first con, definitely. If you value, comment New York hashtag New York Comic Con if you're going. Definitely comment hashtag New York Comic Con. I'll be there
No
with my
foot
baby.
pictures. No foot
That's
pictures.
exciting. Me and her going out on a date that night. We're gonna leave Vinny. We're gonna go out on a date one of those days that we
That's
there. Just
awesome.
leave. Because you know Vinny's a fan of
there's plenty of-
work.
Oh, that should go to
There's plenty of,
Rockefeller, man.
You think
it cool
you
enough to
left
skate?
Vinny?
fan of work.
You think that it's just you and that you left Vinny, but then like he's
Like,
darting
Vinny
in and out of
gone.
you just
Yeah,
look down,
Vinny
there he
gone.
is. You're like, oh
Um,
shit, he's here.
Vinny, wait, where
Vinny
is
gone.
Vinny? All right, I guess we good.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's gonna be right there.
Pretty
Go to
much.
Rockefeller, man.
You don't even know
It's
that
nice
Vinny's
out
there.
there
Hip
until you order food at the restaurant, and then all of a sudden you just see a hand reaching for your plate. You're like, where the fuck did you come from? He was there the whole time.
How do you think we're getting in the restaurant?
Yeah.
How do you think we're getting in the restaurant?
Yep. Yes,
Vinny,
table.
Vinny, Vinny,
this
want to
table
tell him?
quick.
Yeah. How are we getting in the restaurant, Vinny? How are we getting in the restaurant, Vinny? There we go. That's exactly how we're getting in the restaurant. That's how it works. So I'm not mad at that. I already know how it's gonna work. Anyway, guys, it's been look, She-Hulk. We're gonna have to shoot the shit about that next week. We'll do two episodes of that next Monday.
You know that episode was corny. We ain't even talking about it. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I wanted to talk about it, but again, what did he say? Hold on, what somebody say? Uh-oh.
Somebody is getting focused.
Somebody's getting focused. Somebody's getting focused. They asked for it. So y'all gonna get it. Y'all gonna get the focus. So whenever you say focus, this is what you basically get. You get focused. Definitely you get the focus. 1 6-figure focus, my man.
I'm
Shane.
so done with y'all, bro.
Anytime you basically say
done
any
with
type
y'all.
of focus word gets focused. Focus watch. So
Yo, why you holding out Iron Man like that, bro? I'm done with y'all,
He's
boys.
snuggling
man.
with it. He's snuggling it.
I'm so
Focus
done
watch.
with y'all. Man.
it's the focus watch. Anytime you mention
Y'all
focus,
boy.
Just for that, everybody in the chat, if you're not already, make sure to give Shane a sub.
focused on New York
hilarious.
comics. You get focus. Here you go. You get another focus. Anytime.
I'm done with y'all, boys, man. That is funny as hell, yo.
We gotta make
Oh
that into
my
an
God.
emote. We gotta make that into an emote so people can drop
That
it in
is
the chat.
hilarious, B. Oh my God.
Shout out to
focused,
Benjamin
man.
on that, man. Shout out to everybody out there. Definitely listen.
I'm surprised that nobody else had done
funny as
that
hell.
tonight. I was
I
right at the
know.
tail end, yeah.
And we said it a couple times. Real quick before we actually dart out of here, Vinny, I know you wanted to actually bring this up real quick to let people know about, especially about Inktober. So I want to kind of bring this up to show everybody a couple of Vinny's, his work. If you haven't already followed him on Instagram, his work is impeccable. It's incredible. I just want to pull a couple of
His
those pieces
gargoyle
up.
and that Batman is
There
fire.
you go.
Thank you, man.
That shit is fire.
For those that don't know,
Damn.
Inktober is like a social media challenge for artists, and there's a 31-day prompt word list, and every day there's a word, and artists just go on their art table and hash something out that works with that word. So day one word was gargoyle, and then just go on from there, and then it just like has so many different iterations that you could do, and every artist brings their own spin on the prompt word that day. So I've been having fun with it. 31 of these pieces to come, and it's just a fun exercise challenge for artists to do outside.
They're bringing back that gargoyle cartoon.
Oh, State Puff.
This day 2 was Scurry. So I just had the New Yorkers running away from the Stay Puft Man from Ghostbusters. So I like to add. I like to either do like horror or pop culture or superhero stuff, or just do something completely different. So every day, I just do whatever. It's like a Rorschach test. I see the word and I just draw what comes into my mind. So when I see Scurry, that's what I thought of. And so there's some that is going to be funny, some that's like a pun, some that's based on a horror movie, some that's based on a comic. So all kinds of different weird stuff. But yeah, every day, if check out my Instagram, like every day there'll be a different prompt word with a different take on that word for the day. And feel free to throw in like hashtag Inktober in your search engine. You'll see what all kinds of different amazing artists, came up with for Scurry that day, or Gargoyle that day, or like today's was Bat. So of course I had to draw Batman. So like every day is something different, and it's lots of fun. It's a cool artist challenge, and something that keeps your mind racing and coming up with creative different spins on different words and different things. So lots of fun. So I'll be doing that all month long. So if you're on my IG, you could check out a different piece of art. A lot of them have comic book influence on them. Some of them don't. So feel free to check those out. Today's was Bat, and then that's the only other one I sent you. So, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm about to say, show your Batman.
Here you go.
Batman
Here
is
you go.
fire, bro.
Yeah, Thank you,
my
bro.
God, dog.
Yeah.
You gotta put somebody behind him or something, man. Put somebody in the back of his ass. Dog. That's
man,
fire.
what's the tough part?
Picture,
The tough part is like, it's every day. So it's like it's time consuming as hell. You gotta try to figure out the time for it. Get home from work and I'm drawing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
you killed that
all day.
You killed that.
So I try to keep them without going too super detailed, because it's like I gotta do 31 of these. I'm not trying to have them.
How big is that? How big is that, bro?
These the ones I'm doing, these are like I think they're, hold on one second. They're like, yeah, I work for Inktober. I work small. These are 7x10s.
7x10. Okay.
Yeah, 7x10s. For regular pieces, I usually do like 18x24 or 11x14. But for Inktober, it's such a time intensive. To do 31 pieces in 1 month it's a lot. So I work smaller so that way I can get turned.
Is Goliath the same size?
Goliath is the same size.
Is Goliath the same size?
Yeah, and when I do prints of them, they'll be like 11x14. I blow them up, and usually they scale pretty nicely. So like if there's certain ones that if people ask me for a print of, then I'll do, and there's some that I plan to do prints of, but most of them are just for fun. But ones I do prints of, they're typically scaled up to 11x14, because that's the type of prints I do. But yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Inktober, you know what time it is, man. If you haven't already. And again, Vincent Dunn Art on Instagram. If you haven't already, get over there and follow. It's going to be a lot of nice work popping off for the whole month of October. I mean, he's going to be busy doing it. Yeah. And keep him busy while he's doing it. Vinny, thank you for coming through.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you here, brother. Next up, we got my man, Bucky Naked, butt naked assassin himself, the collector without fear. What's up, bro? What you got coming up?
Man.
That ain't going away, bro. No time soon.
No, I got it's mostly just reading the Axe Judgment Day, catching up with that. I only got a couple more books. I'm probably gonna try and do that tonight, actually. And then still going, rereading every Daredevil. So I'm into right now I'm in Brubaker's run, and I'm a big fan of that, so I'm loving that. I've got a bunch of books coming in that I've tracked down, including some slabs Daredevil stuff. And then I just got a bunch of shoots. That's why I can't make it to New York this weekend, because I got shoots on Friday and Saturday. But other than that, man, I just can't wait for. I mean, I'll watch She-Hulk, but I can't wait for Andor. That's what I'm looking forward to this week.
Yeah, Andor is, man.
Yeah, Andor has been, like I said, has been, I think, great. I've been loving it. And I mean, and just enjoying stuff like this, like, it's been fun. So that's pretty much all I'm doing this week is work, client work, and then comics. And then, we'll have to be back next Monday, and we'll talk about everything,
everything that happened at Comic-Con
and
new news. We'll talk about both episodes of She-Hulk just to kind of get that out the way. We'll
probably speed through that to move on to other stuff. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about that. We'll dive in, maybe talk about Andor a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy. And then I do have, hopefully by the end of this week, I'll have both the 6-scale XM Studios Rebirth Green Arrow coming in, and the quarter scale Pure Arts Assassin's Creed Black Flag Edward Kenway. Both of those, Marcos told me he's shipping out. Well, he's shipping out the Assassin's Creed one, I think, today. We're just waiting on the ports for the XM Studios Green Arrow one. But so I'm hoping that I get both of those in, or at least one of them in by the end of this week, and then the other by sometime next week.
So he said he'll have them this week.
Yeah, so he was getting the Assassin's Creed one drop shipped to me, so I think it's just going to bypass, because he was on the road, so it's just going to bypass Collector Zone and come straight to me. So that one should be coming. I'm hoping that one is this week, and then he's just waiting on the Green Arrow one to clear the ports and get over to him, and then he'll send that one to me. So this week and next week, hopefully, I'll get one and then the other. So I'm looking forward to. I've been really anticipating both of those, especially the Assassin's Creed one, because that thing looks absolutely stunning. So I can't wait for that. And that's my favorite game in that franchise. So I'm looking forward to that getting delivered. I thought I was going to end up having my Linda Carter Prime 1/3 scale months ago. I thought I was going to have that before any of these, but I'm still waiting on that. So hopefully,
I'm still waiting on my Queen Studio Wonder Woman, bro.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Both of those have just been taken ridiculously long. So I'm hoping, because I was hoping to have that Linda Carter back in like July, August, to be honest. And we're still waiting on it. So I'm hoping that comes soon. But I honestly think I'm going to have the half-scale Queen Studios Captain America before I have that Linda Carter, because the cap is going to be shipping very soon. Like, it's already started for some collectors overseas. So the cap is going to be coming soon.
Because I think John said that last week, right?
Yeah. So they've already started. There's a YouTube channel, like the art statue collector. Like, dude has this basically this airplane hangar that's just turned into like a showroom for all the statues he buys. It's insane. And he got that and awesome. A review of it, and I can't wait for it. It looks gorgeous. I'm super excited to get that in. And so it already started shipping to some collectors in Asia. And word is that it's going to be fairly soon in the US, but we are supposed to have all of the pre-orders in the US before the end of the year. And it's October, so we're getting down to the wire there. But that's why, like I said, I feel like I'm going to have all three of those pieces, the two that I've got coming now, and then that one before this Linda Carter ever ships, because we just can't get a word on when that's actually shipping. So that's annoying, but it is what it is.
Super annoying right now, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm waiting, but again, when it comes, it comes. That's basically all I'm worried about. So once it gets here again.
Yeah, because that Queen Studios Wonder Woman looks like a beautiful piece too. Like, that's...
Oh my God, bro. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Yeah, I've been waiting for that thing for the longest time. As soon as it's here, as soon as they say it's ready, it's a done deal. It's a wrap. So
yeah.
But anyway, bro, thanks for being here, man. As always, every Monday. If you haven't already followed Max Effort, Collector Without Fear on Instagram. I don't know why I put both of them.
The Collector Without Fear. Yeah, the Max Effort is not a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's not a thing anymore. He's retired.
It's the same account. I just changed the name to The Collector Without Fear.
Yeah. So again, no more butt nakedness. We had to retire that. So again,
man.
Yeah,
that was never the account handle in the first place.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Don't try to rewrite history.
No, he's trying to rewrite history, bro. He's trying to change it now, man. Come on. Anyway, yeah.
Butt naked. Butt naked. We know what time it is.
That was in another part of the multiverse.
Bro, we've been saying that shit from day one. We're saying that shit from day. Anyway, thanks for being here. Jedi Kid, man. What you got going on?
For a whole year.
Up, bro? a whole year, bro. But
It's like She-Hulk. He probably would be, somebody should come out with a cologne.
butt naked. This
She-Hulk cologne.
Yeah, then he had to sue him and be like, "Nah, I always wanted the name."
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just going to be called butt. It's just a cologne that's just called butt.
The fragrance from men.
This butt.
No, but as if
When
you
you
got
want to smell like Jock Clapton drawers.
It's butt with 3 T's.
Butt cologne.
and an E at the end, like boot.
With 3 T's.
It's boutte. It's boutte spells B-U-T-T-E.
Boutte with 3 T's.
Accent at the end.
Boot.
Oh, with the E on the end. Oh yeah, easy.
Just boot.
It's
With the accent on the end. That's killer right there.
Boots.
You could charge $110 a
When
pop
you
a
add an
bottle.
accent, it classes shit up.
Boot by Naked.
Mhm. Boots by Naked.
Boots by Naked. That's funny.
It's
Anyway,
like Wayne's World back in the
Yeah,
day.
boy,
Like
crazy,
my
man.
lady likes me in Brute cologne. My lady likes me in
Boot cologne.
Boot
Butts. There you go. Boutte.
Boot.
Boutte.
Naked.
We're going off the rails.
Boot naked. Boot. Boot.
If you're still with us, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we apologize.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry
This
about
is the end. So we tired. Everybody's tripping right now. So I'm sorry.
It happens toward the end of something,
It's just fun. Anyway, go
Yeah.
ahead, man. With that, IK, what you got going on, bro?
I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't know why I was getting kicked out earlier. Kicking me out for some reason. It was weird. I don't know why. Work. I got to spend time with my sister. Was here for a couple of days, so she came down Friday and stayed the weekend with the family. Had a good time doing that. We survived a hurricane last weekend, which was crazy. Man, my new place got a little held up because of nothing got damaged, thank God. But we're good with that. Still getting worked on. I got a bunch of figures in this week. I'm trying to open them all up. I still got to open up my Luke in the orange, the fighter suit, the pilot suit.
Oh yeah.
I just got that in. Yeah. I got Taskmaster. Yo, Taskmaster, I definitely slept on that. I'm so glad I got that. Taskmaster.
A lot of people did. That's why you can get it for
Dude,
cheap now.
Bruh, for cheap, only paid $160 for it, $165 for it.
Yep.
I got the Dark Trooper robot, which is awesome. People are hating on it. I don't know why, but that figure is fire.
On it, but I skipped it. It wasn't for me.
Dude, with next to Moff Gideon, it looks so dope in the cabinet, bro. What else did I get? I got Moff. Oh, I got the other cat. Well, y'all saw that one with the suitcase, and I got a custom. I'm about to do a custom Superman. That's got the head in from Tony May. Oh yeah, dude. So is he worth it? I know he's a comic book version of Bubba from the Gladiator, and it comes with the axe from the comic.
Yep, dude. And
it has the axe from the comic. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the arena base. Is that sand? Oh, I'm getting that.
Nope, it's like a nice, round kind of museum style base. I love this one, and the detailing.
Oh, it's round.
The axe is great.
Oh yeah. That's dope.
But, yeah,
that's when he called himself Django when he fought in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's dope.
Great figure.
I'm gonna copy that, bro.
You gotta get it.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. I'm gonna get that.
Yeah,
you definitely.
I've got a second one coming. It's a great figure.
You got another one coming.
For real?
Well, yeah, because remember,
I was asking about the X.
I originally got the first batch from Toys Wonderland. They oversold it. And so then they were like, so we don't have enough for the first batch. So they gave me the difference back and they switched mine to second batch. And then because I didn't want the same thing to happen on the second batch, I didn't want to risk it. I ordered one through Sideshow too. So I got one from Toys Wonderland and one from Sideshow. So I'll have two. So yeah, but I mean, and I was like, I might just sell the second one. I haven't decided because I like this so much that I might have two different ones in different sections of my kind of like Mando.
You should have them doing different kind of stuff, bro. If you're gonna have two.
But I like the figures so much that there's a good chance that I'll just keep the second one because honestly, I'll take this one and the one from the 2-pack, like the bird shit, like the one from, I'll take those two over classic Boba Fett any day of the week. I like them.
Cool.
I like them.
That's
way
over the
more
classic suit.
I'll take them
man.
over Jedi or Empire for me. I just
What?
love the designs of
It's decent,
Whoa.
bro. It's definitely a
Even
decent
even the
collection.
20th, because
Yep.
that one
Arena
that we
suit.
just got, the last one was a 20th anniversary collector,
No,
right?
I'll take either one of these over a classic Boba Fett for me any day of the week.
Anyway, guys, I don't want to hold everybody out there real quick just to kind of let y'all know what's going on. My damn computer fucked up, so I had to switch to the laptop. Anyway, comic book talk with friends today. We got Say What Wednesday. There won't be a Uncivilized on Thursday because we'll be prepping for Comic-Con. There will not be a Figure Flex Friday this weekend because, again, we will be at Comic-Con. But there might be a Collector's Lounge. Who knows? And I might go live at Comic-Con just briefly to let everybody know what's going on. But other than that, thank you for basically being a good night. For those of you going to Comic-Con, make sure you basically hit us up. We will be there. We'll be excited to see everybody. We'll link up with everybody to be a good weekend. But yeah, peace and love. You know what we're here to do. We talk about comics every weekend, and we'll be back next Monday to talk about some more-ish. But again, peace and love to everybody. We love y'all. And again, stay classy, keep on collecting, be at peace all day, every day. But you know what you came here to see is us talk about comics all day. Peace out. We love y'all. We out. Peace.